What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 4 rupees chapter 64 Kill the dragon with one punch, copy A level talent, Samahata. Kokoja village, flames and gunpowder smoke filled the air. The wanton laughter of the murlocs, as well as the pain and crying of the villagers, mixed together to form a sad song. In the sudden gust of wind, Hula's windbreaker rolled up. Leno landed on the roof. He glanced at it out of the corner of his eye, and it was still in time. Human, you actually call the noblest murloc in the world ugly? Leno looked down, overlooking the glaring, blatant sawtooth shark, human, evil dragon. Well, you are really ugly, jump beam clown, Leno said. You are courting death. Leno's overlooking eyes, disdainful tone, and sarcastic words, pierced the dragon's heart like a sharp sword. Kill you. The evil dragon's forehead was bulging with blue veins, and his footsteps were stamped on the ground. Click. The ground crumbled and gravel flew around. Under his feet, there was a gust of airflow, then, it bounced up suddenly, like a shell fired from the chamber. No one can stop my move, the dragon grinned. His sharp, jagged nose is his weapon, powerful enough to pierce rocks. Careful. Bell Mel kindly reminds. The murlocs watched jokingly. Very relaxed and not worried about the dragon at all. They came to East Blue, bound. The opponents I met were as weak as rookies. East Blue, the weakest sea in the world, like the man in the windbreaker, pushy, they have encountered it before, what is there to worry about? The evil dragon is the pride of the murlocs, the cadre of the Sun Pirates, and the heir to Big Brother Tiger's will. For these murlocs, the evil dragon is a good murloc who loves his compatriots. God, save us. Let the miracle happen. The villagers covered their mouths with horror on their faces. But I prayed in my heart, hoping to see a miracle, but also afraid. Leno didn't draw his knife. He looked at the extremely fast but extremely slow dragon, clenched his right fist, and swung it forward against his sharp nose. Instantly, the fist and the jagged nose collided together. Boom! A muffled, thunderous sound of violent explosion resounded through the air. Fierce airflow, with the direction of Leno's fist surge. Shock, horrified, incredible, in everyone's eyes. The extremely arrogant dragon pierced through the steel jagged nose, as if it had hit the hardest thing in the world. The nose was broken inch by inch. Then the fist hit his face, causing a dent visible to the naked eye. Extruded eyeballs, also full of fear, unbelievable. Next moment. Head. Burst, immediately afterwards, there was the tall and strong body of the murloc. The former evil dragon, relying on its innately superior body, crushed many weak people and broke their spines. Now, it was his turn, as if being hammered by hundreds of tons. Roll over. His body exploded in all directions, and with the wind, like a rain of blood, pieces of the sun fell one after another. All the murlocs in the murloc pirates had bulging eyes, wide mouths, and shock and fear on their faces. Obej. The sound that comes out of the mouth is almost silent. Shocked to the point of losing my voice. Belmel, Nami, Nuokagao, and countless villagers all opened their eyes wide and covered their mouths. I can't believe it at all. Such a powerful dragon was blown up with a single punch. Ding. You beat your opponent, and you scanned for talents. Sawtooth shark bloodline, A, shark muscle, A grade, iron teeth, B grade, iron bone. B grade, strange power, C grade. The system beeps. The talent of the dragon is shown in front of Leno. There is no S-level talent. No surprise. The power of the evil dragon is just the use of its own talent to the ultimate. Open black lens bracket. Please host choose a talent as soon as possible. Close black lens bracket. Leno thought for a while between the two A-level talents. Choose shark muscle. Leno is not very interested in open black lens bracket jaw shark bloodline close black lens bracket. He already has moon lion bloodline, which is more in line with his aesthetics than this bloodline. Open black lens bracket. Ding. Congratulations to host for duplicating talent. Samahata, close black lens bracket. Talent introduction. Shark muscles contain powerful strength, can tear rocks, and have perfect lines. This, not bad. Leno squinted slightly. The muscles in the body are trembling slightly, as if they are becoming more perfect and have stronger explosive power. Ding. It is detected that the host has similar talents, Lord of Gluttony, Life Return, Cat Power, Cat Speed, Moon Lion Bloodline, Samahata. Please find more similar talents, and integrate and improve. Isn't that enough? It's really difficult to upgrade from S rank to SS rank. Leno came back to himself. All around, there was a dead silence. The whole village fell into silence. Murlocs and humans fell into the hands of King Mausoleum. I don't know how to express my feelings at this time. The evil dragon who was arrogant and clamoring just now wanted to build the evil dragon empire. He despises humans and kills weak dragons. There was not even a piece of intact meat left, and it became scattered blood mud. How to describe it? It's like a fly that keeps making noise in front of people. Thinking that he is strong, he barks his teeth and claws. But when people really notice it, When it was slapped, it didn't even hum, it just slapped it to death. Leno withdrew his blood-stained fist, took out a handkerchief, and wiped it. Noble race. Don't be disgusting, that's all. He jumped up lightly and fell to the ground. A set of teeth left by the dragon is still beating. Kaka opened and closed, as if to bite someone. Well, the mouth is still hard. Leno walked over, stomping it to pieces, crisp sound. Finally, the murlocs who had fallen into a stupor came back to their senses. He killed Brother Dragon. Damn human beings, avenge Brother Dragon. Instantly, among the murloc pirates, various voices shouted. Some murlocs stood still. I don't know what's wrong. There are also murlocs who panic and are afraid. There are also fierce ones, fearless of death, rushing towards Leno. Murloc karate, sure kill 1,000 tiles right fist. Water cannon, chirp, kill. Leno looked at them. Fearing the strong and bullying the weak, is this the future you murlocs believe in? A strong wind, along with the fist, blows towards Leno. The fist stopped half a meter away from Leno. In that case, you are no different from those you hate, right? Leno said calmly. What? Kruby was shocked. Can't move. He lowered his head subconsciously. Under the feet, the blood of the dragon turned into ice. Stuck to his feet. Moreover, the freezing cold quickly surged up, freezing the legs. Call. The wind blows. Kruby narrowed his eyes and saw the wind, like a knife. Puff. The head flew up. Blood splashed 3 feet. Essentially, you murlocs are also selfish, you just want to be strong and dominate others. Leno was merciless. What the dragon pirates have done is not worthy of sympathy at all. Open black lens bracket frozen close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket royal wind close black lens bracket. Double SS level talent. Under Leno's control, it passed by. The icy cold wind hit the body, sharper than the blade, like a Shinigami sickle, cutting wantonly. Puff puff. The murlocs who rushed out fell to the ground within a few seconds. Oh my god. Everyone watched. The murlocs who had easily crushed them earlier were harvested by this young man like straw. It's unbelievable. In their hearts, monstrous waves surge. Is he a god? Come and save our god. In people's eyes, there is no fear, but fanaticism, awe, and a sense of revenge. Good kill. Kill these monsters. My daughter died at their hands, kill them. The villagers couldn't help shouting. From fear, to righteous indignation, the people who regained hope hated these murlocs extremely. The murlocs who were still alive were panicked by the death of their companions and the sudden outburst of shouts from the villagers. All of a sudden, they recalled the past, hiding in dark corners every day. Eating very little food. The companion was captured by the slave catcher. Frightened. Ah, run away, devil, he is a devil. I don't know which murloc it was, yelled, and started to run away. The other living murlocs lost their minds and turned around to run away. Unexpectedly, Leno did not go after him. The excited villagers quieted down and wondered at him. Why, you didn't go and kill them? Someone asked. Seems like Leno was right to kill those murlocs. Leno was wrong if he didn't kill the murlocs. Leno asked back. Why, I want to kill them? Didn't you come to save us? You are so powerful, avenge us, you are also human. The villagers shouted. Hey? Leno's eyes were slightly cold, he glanced over, suppressed the noise, and said, did you make a mistake? First of all, I'm not here to save you, I'm just entrusted by someone to hunt down the evil dragon. Secondly, why should I avenge you? I put my hopes on others, and when others can't achieve their hopes, they start to speak ill. What's the difference between you and the murlocs? In the end, there has never been a savior in this world, and there is no god. If there is, it must be rubbish. Leno snorted coldly. If you want revenge, then do it yourself. Are the weapons in your hands for chopping firewood? Finished. Seeing a tavern next to him, he went in. There was silence all around. Some people put down their weapons and sat on the ground crying bitterly. Some people raised their weapons. He's right, it's our own hatred, I'm going to kill them. But those murlocs are too powerful. How can we beat it? Let's forget it. It's good now. Let's have a good time. Those murlocs should not dare to come again. Many people shrank their heads. HMPH, you are really soft-boned. You were so frightened that you forgot your relatives. How did you get killed? What if those murlocs come back again? Zero looking for flowers. Who's coming with me? I go, loud female voice. In the middle of the voice, Belle stood up, she clenched the knife tightly, and said, we can't let them escape. She was a marine before, so she is very aware of the ferocity of pirates, and these murlocs are even more ferocious. The murloc ran away because he was afraid of the man in front of him, not the villagers. Perhaps, they still have companions. When this gentleman leaves, they will come back to take revenge, even more bloody revenge. Belle Mel was very prestigious among the villagers, and as she stood up, more people who harbored hatred stood up. She asked people she knew to help take care of Nami and New Okagawa, and then she and the crusade team chased in the direction where the murlocs jumped. The remaining villagers are mainly old and weak. There were also some strong people who hid in the crowd. What? How can we beat the murlocs? Isn't it going to die? We have such a strong strength, but we don't help us. Really, we are so weak, what can we do? He killed the bosses of those murlocs, but he didn't kill them all. Didn't he kill us? If the murlocs come back, it's all his fault. Those adults who chose to escape because of fear were discussing. Nami and Nuo Kagao were very angry when they heard it. How can they say that? Nami clenched her fists. She doesn't understand. Could it be that that person saved them? Why would anyone be dissatisfied? Could it be that they are only happy if they are stepped on by the dragon? Nuo Kagao stood on the wine barrel and shouted angrily. You people, what are you talking about? What? Is he our savior? Nami asked. What savior? Didn't he say that? Didn't he come to save us? It's just a grudge against that guy, right? Hey, Nami, Nuo Kagao, don't be fooled by him. What a joke, you are too young to understand anything. That is, maybe, he's a worse guy than a dragon? Anyway, seeing him slaughter those murlocs with such cruel and bloody methods, he must not be a good person. The door of the tavern suddenly opened. Leno washed his hands, took a bottle of wine, and walked out. Those brawny men who shouted suddenly shut up. After looking at each other, they shrank their heads and wanted to leave. Stop, Leno narrowed his eyes. What do you want to do? A strong man summoned up his courage and said. What do I want to do? Didn't you say so? Leno smiled and said. You are right, I am a wicked witch who is worse than a dragon, and even more cruel. So, what will the bad guys do? Leno walked towards them. You, don't come here, you killed us, aren't you afraid of Marine? A strong man said. Marine? Where is it? Hateful. A strong man raised his knife, gritted his teeth at Leno, and said, You, don't force us. Oh, at this time, do you dare to raise your sword? Great, I admire your courage. Is it because I am not as scary as a dragon? Sweat dripped from the foreheads of several strong men. In the tense atmosphere, a strong man closed his eyes and rushed towards Leno shouting. Boom! With just one kick, Leno kicked him flying, fell more than 10 meters away, and fainted on the ground. Several other people seemed to have just remembered Leno's horror and turned around and fled. Leno didn't chase, and shouted, Buggy, what? In the crowd, Buggy, who was sneaking around and watching the show, reluctantly stood up. Eat my Buggy. Boom boom boom. After the explosion, the few people who fled fell to the ground. This time, no one dared to make any sound. Leno sighed. Some people here are cheap. You treat them well, they treat you like a fool. If you are cruel to them, they will be obedient. The evil dragon ruled Kokoja village. Nami worked hard to save the village, but how did the people in the village treat her? Even though there is a misunderstanding in it, but some people are really disgusting. The suffering that this land has suffered is what they deserve. Leno said. Tie him up and hang him for 3 days, no matter he is dead or alive, he will hand over to his god for judgment. Buggy readily agreed, torturing the puny, which he loved most. Uncle, can you let them go? Leno looked down and saw Nami and Makino, 2 little ones, coming to beg. We apologize for them. Leno smiled at them, and each of them rubbed his head. Thank you for speaking for me just now, but, unfortunately, no. If you make a mistake and say something wrong, you will be punished. Your apology will not change the evil in their hearts. Kindness is a very good character, but unnecessary kindness is the greatest insult and trample on the victim. After Leno finished speaking, he walked back to the tavern. He doesn't think he is a bad person, and he doesn't want to be a bad person. Sitting at the bar, Leno checked the system records. Ding! You beat your opponent, and you scanned for talents. Cartilaginous fish bloodline, A. Murloc karate, B level, Samahata, C level. Ding! You beat your opponent, and you have scanned for talents. Kissing fish bloodline, B. Shark muscle, grade D. Open black lens bracket. Ding! You beat your opponent, and you scanned for talents. Salmon bloodline, C. Management, D. Close black lens bracket. A lot of work. Chapter 65. Take away Nami, Nuo Kagao, and Bell Mel to join the guild. TKP Sun Life Ju Dian Rakuten Travel. Ri Ben Xing Ne Ling Xian Wang Sheng Lu Xing Shi So Much, rubbish. Leno looked at the system logs. Just defeated a string of murlocs. The system prompt is also a large piece. But the talents inside are relatively rubbish, with C and D being the most. Except for Murloc Cadres, I can't see any good talents. In fact, this is the status quo for most people Leno met before. Either they have great potential in the future, or they are famous and powerful. But how many of these people, in the sea, are there? In the world, there are more mediocre people. Some people may not have a talent, and they are completely rotten. Of course, without flair, strike, neither is wrong. What's wrong is that if you don't recognize yourself, you will come to disgusting people and guys who are holding you back. This kind of person is even more disgusting than a wicked person or a bad person. Leno took a sip of his drink. I suppressed my anger. Open black lens bracket. Please host choose a talent as soon as possible. Close black lens bracket. Some screening. In the end, Leno chose the 3 talents of Murloc Karate, level B, Samahata, level D, and Shipwright, level D. Others choose to give up. The talents copied by the system can be discarded. Some garbage talents are really not worth spending time training and digging. Currently, Leno prioritizes training and improving existing talents. D level, shark muscle, overlaps with A level, and will merge with A level, but it cannot be improved. It is equivalent to a slight increase on the A level, but it is impossible to reach the S level. Calm demeanor. Leno opens the system panel. Open black lens bracket host name. Leno close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket real age. 18 years old close black lens bracket. Existing talents. Armament Haki, SSS level. Music sense, SSS level. Yufeng, SS level. Freezing, SS level. Swinging fortune, SS level. Pianist, SS level. Gluttony Jun, level S. Conqueror's Haki, level S. Swordheart, level S. Observation Haki, level S. Artisan Soul, level S. Infection, level S. One Heart Sword, level A. Jiao Muscle, level S. A level, Photographic Memory. B level, Life Return, 363. B level, Moon Lion Bloodline. B level, Murloc Karate. B level, Cat's Power. C level, Cat's Power Speed, level C. Gambling, level D. Shipwright, level D. Strength Evaluation. You must have a top position in the Palace of Vice Admiral, with top-level armament Haki, the appearance of a Demon King, the heart of swordsmanship, the 3-element return to 1, a master composer, unlimited potential, and outstanding memory, but the real strong need the tempering of blood and fire. Let's evolve, boy. The unruly wind and the ice of winter bless you, the future is your job. Throughout the interface, there is an extra sulfur monosulfide level, pianist, talent, from the King of Elysia, Gordon. In addition, after Leno's continuous exercise, his observation Haki in Elysia broke through the limit of a rank and reached S rank. Leno is making up for his shortcomings. His life return has reached grade B. Life return. This talent. The biggest benefit is to enhance the control of every part of the body, even to the point of slightly deforming. This is actually quite useful, especially when doing something. Leno puts down the bottle. He looked to the side, curiously looking at his two sisters. Nami, Nuokigao, when I was little, I was still cute. Asterisk 34. Leno said. What's the matter? Is there something wrong? Nami was more courageous, blinked and said, Uncle, your name is Leno, right? Uncle? Leno rubbed his chin. There's nothing wrong with it? Leno asked, Am I that old? Nuokigao rolled her eyes and said, Big brother. Nami cleverly followed up and shouted, Leno big brother. Leno asked curiously, You know me? Nuokigao took out a newspaper and said, Here, Belle Mel has a collection of Hunter Guild newspapers. The photos in the newspaper were of Leno, Kuina and the others when they landed on the island of acrobatics, and they were reported by the news. The content introduced in detail that Leno defeated the Scarlet Fleet by himself. Certainly, news reports are always exaggerated. In that battle, Leno didn't make much of a move, but all the credit goes to him. It is almost described as Leno chasing the entire Scarlet Fleet to fight. Leno big brother, how can I become as powerful as you? Nami blinked his big eyes and asked curiously. Leno smiled. Pick her up with Nuokigao, put her on the bar and sit down. It's tiring to always bend over and talk. Leno asked the waiter behind the bar to bring them a glass of juice each. Why do you want to be great? Nami clenched her small fists and said, I want to protect Belmel, Nuochigao, and everyone. I also want. Nuochi holding the juice raised her hand high. See, when Belmel gets knocked out, their hearts are pierced. But when Leno came, he easily killed those Murlocs, which made Nami and Nuokigao both shocked and envious. The Murloc, who made the village powerless, was so powerless in front of Leno. Leno said, If you want to become stronger, you have to put in a lot of sweat. Can you bear that kind of hard work? How hard? Nami asked naively. Very hard. Is it harder than growing oranges? Well, it's 100 times harder than that. Nami picked up the juice. He took a deep breath and puffed up his cheeks. That was a lot of hard work. But, Nami muttered, I still want to protect Belle, Nuokigao and everyone. I am not afraid of hard work. She is not very confident. Compared to Nuokigao, Nami is a little cunning. Although there are some tricky things that people don't like, but overall, she is a person who always smiles firmly. Leno said, Being able to endure hardships is not enough, you have to get your Belmel to agree. Why? Nuokigao asked. Because, if you want to train, you have to go to a strange place, and you may be separated from Belmel. Leno said it was Shimotsuki village. Take Koshiro's daughter by himself, and return him 2 more. 1 hard dojo. There is a systematic training system. Nami and Nuochigao don't necessarily have to take the path of kendo, but the training there will definitely be good for them. When they heard that they were going to separate from Belmel, Nuokigao and Nami stopped talking. Kesha Town. By the coast, fleeing here, the panic-stricken 7 or 8 Murlocs raised their heads just after taking a breath, with fire in their eyes. Hey, what's wrong with our boat? Xiaoba, aren't you on the boat? What's going on? Where's Moo Moo? The shark spab was ablaze and half sunk, dashing the Murloc's hopes. Xiaoba, Moo moo, are you dead? Outside, there are enemies. Belmel and the crusade. A total of more than 40 people came after them. When she saw the fire in the sea, suddenly realized that that man had seen everything long ago. Even if they don't come after them, even the remaining Murloc soldiers cannot escape. Why did he do this? Obviously powerful, get rid of all Murlocs. Belle thought. When she saw the people around her rushing towards the Murloc together, she suddenly understood. He was teaching them how to deal with Murlocs, give them courage, blood, and fearless spirit. Just like a falcon, when it treats its own children, it will push the young birds that can spread their wings off the cliff and force them to fly. She looked at the Murlocs who were besieged by the villagers. Compared with the Murlocs killed by Leno, these Murlocs are not that strong. Leno has already been screened. Belmel remembered that there was a description of the island of acrobatics in the newspaper. He turned the tide of battle and made everyone charge for him. When the villagers, after a hard fight, wiped out the Murlocs, even though they were injured, they still laughed heartily. The aura on them has become different. Belmel and the others, carrying the killed Murlocs, returned to the village. When they found the entrance of the village, several wooden stakes were erected, with people tied to them. A strangely dressed person was throwing knives at the apples above their heads. Around, there are several children watching. Buggy throwing knife. Duh, amazing, amazing, Buggy is amazing, the children applaud. In the sound of, powerful, Buggy lost himself and groaned endlessly. Small meaning, I still have a higher difficulty, throwing knives blindfolded, do you want to see it? Belle Meyer stepped forward and wondered, what's going on? A few children talked in a hurry, telling everyone what happened just now. What? The people who went to chase and kill the Murlocs were immediately blown up. Spit, you guys are really disgusting, it's fine if you don't help, and you still say that, it's really not enough to hang up for 3 days. Yes, it seems that you are not from our Kokoja village? Are you from Kesha town? Don't say it's from our village, I'll spray you to death. Everyone just finished killing the Murlocs and they were full of energy. There is no mercy for such a weak, incompetent, and eccentric guy. On weekdays, they are the ones who dominate the village, and at critical moments, they are the ones who are cowardly like dogs. Only dare to bully the weak, not to punch the strong. Belle shook his head. No intercession. She also met this kind of person in Marine, and she herself felt disgusted. Leno didn't kill them, enough was enough, in the village. Seeing that Belle Mel and the others really came back with the Murloc corpse, all the villagers came out and cheered loudly. Dead Murlocs, what else is there to be afraid of? Belle Mel. Nami and Nu Okagawa ran out of the tavern and hugged her happily. In the tavern, Leno skipped their party, took out the phone bug, and contacted Kuina. How about it? Well, I found it, it is indeed a large piece of land. Under the night, Kuina, Uda and Cole stand on a mountain overlooking the vast valley below. Leno didn't want Uda to see too much blood, so he asked Kuina to take over the land with Uda and Cole. Also exercise Kuina, the ability to move alone. The mountain wind blows and the trees sway. This piece, all? Kuina reconfirmed. The old man in a cowboy hat nodded and said, this is a hunting ground, it's all within a radius of 20 miles. Leno was a little surprised when he heard Kuina's description. This business is still profitable. Point 0 Although it is full of mountains and forests and has not been developed, the land is the land, and the value lies there. What do you do with such a large hunting ground? Leno pondered. It's better design the hunting ground as a place for hunters to assess? Leno became interested. A radius of 20 kilometers is not enough, you can design the sea surface and the bottom of the sea, if it is still not enough. The Jumida Islands are vast and sparsely populated, it shouldn't be difficult to find some uninhabited islands. Leno is doing design in his heart. 2 beers. Leno turned his head, Belle handed him a glass of beer, and said, thank you. You are welcome. I'm talking about the Scarlet Fleet. Oh, I have a grudge against them. Back then Belle Mel briefly talked about what happened to him when he went to the kingdom of Oikot. That's it, Nami and Nu Okagawa are from the kingdom of Oikot. Leno remembered. There is such a thing. Leno took the beer, clinked glasses with Belmel, and said, are you interested in joining the Hunter Guild? What? Belle Meyer froze, but my strength is too weak. Leno said with a smile. Hunter Guild, the functions will be separated. Not only will there be combat teams, but there will also be medical treatment and logistics. Belle Mel was surprised, is this still a non-governmental organization? Leno warmly invited, saying, Belle Mel, I appreciate your courage and responsibility, join us. Belle Meyer was a little moved, but also a little hesitant, and said, I still need to take care of Nami, Nu Okagawa. You don't have to worry about this at all. In the future, our Hunter Guild will have its own hunter school. Before that, I will arrange for them to go to a dojo to study and train. If you are still not at ease, you can go to the dojo with them to investigate, and it will not be too late to make a decision. Hearing Leno's meticulous and thoughtful arrangement, Belle sighed in his heart, what a careful and gentle man. She stopped hesitating and said, okay, I'll join. Leno raised his glass with a smile and said, welcome to Hunter's Guild. Drink half a cup. Leno took out the document from the inner pocket of the windbreaker, put it on the table, and said, "This is the membership application form." Didn't you join? Leno said. "Don't forget, our rule, number 1, what is your goal? Bell-mel." "That's it." Bell-Meyer picked up the application form. "I've thought about it, and I'll give it to you." "It is good, Bell-mel, do you want to join the Hunters Guild?" Nami and Nuo Kagao ran in. The two of them were just peeking outside. "Right now, it's just an alternate," Bell said. Nami asked curiously, "Leno big brother, what is a hunter?" Leno said, "Hunter, a person who chases goals and dreams." Nuo Kagao, is that so, then what is your dream?" "Hunter Guild." Having dealt with the evil dragon gang, Leno has no intention of stopping in Kokoja village. It was late at night. Leno, Buggy, and Kuina, they will make up, take Belmel, Nami, and Nokagao, and leave the Jumeda Islands. And in the deep sea, an octopus murloc, dragging a big sea cow, is racing all the way. "Moo, what are you doing? Hurry up and stop at 4.8. Xiao Ba clings tightly to the manatee's back. Manatee Momo shook its head frantically, unwilling to stop desperately, wanting to stay away from that figure that made it feel scared. Just before midnight, Xiao Ba was ordered to stay on the pirate ship, and he had nothing to do, so he went fishing on Moo Moo's back. I don't know why, the manatee mooed, suddenly frightened. Then he fled like crazy, and Xiao Ba was also taken into the deep sea by it. Wait until Momoo is tired and floats to the surface of the sea. Xiao Ba looked around, with a bunch of question marks on his forehead. Who I am? Where am I, little 8, Manatee Moo, when embarking on another East Blue adventure? World government, a certain secret base. Rob Luchi. Kaku. Khalifa. With proud steps, Spandam walked past the young people in front of him one by one, the elite trained by their CP9. You will perform a long-term latent mission. The target is East Blue, the Hunters Guild. Although I think it's a big deal, the world government has issued an order. This is the information about the Hunters Guild. What is the specific task? The pigeon on Luchi's shoulder asked. Collect information about the Hunters Guild, about its president Leno, member information, etc., all information. Spandam said. These information will serve as an important reference for the world government to determine the level of harm of the Hunter Guild. Grand Line. A small island, there is still bright sunshine here. Kuzan, who has been resting for almost 2 months since resigning, yawned and stretched on the beach. It's almost time, isn't it? Kuzan went back to the residence and took out the phone bug. Hello, Morgans. Huh, you bastard, how long has it been since you disappeared? I thought you were killed. Don't you want an exclusive interview? There was the sound of a chair falling from the opposite side. Acquisition. Interview. Where are you? I'll go there right away. Chapter 66 Buggy's Luck, Barati's Jep and Sanji. Nuokagao, Uda, look quickly, ahead. Nami stood at the bow, looking into the distance. Huge whales surfaced, one after the other. A fountain-like water column rose into the sky. Form a contiguous spectacle. Wow, great, it's spectacular. So amazing. Nami and Nuokagao, who went to sea for the first time, were very excited. They are similar in age to Uda, and they are both more outgoing. Get acquainted soon. Became a little friend playing together on the boat. Buggy stood on the platform of the mast, which was his preferred position. We must find a way to escape, that guy, damn it. Shouldn't have been on his boat in the first place. There are no clues to the treasure, just a bunch of chores. I'm a dignified Mr. Buggy, don't you want to lose face? Buggy muttered to himself. He took the binoculars and looked around for an opportunity to leave. The vast sea. He's demon fruit power again, and without a ship, the risk of leaving is too great. Suddenly, passing through the water jets, something seemed to flash past. Buggy hastily turned the binoculars and moved them back. It was a big ship with colorful flags. At the two ends of the boat, there are big fish head portraits. The belly of the ship is bloated, even fatter than that of a merchant ship, and the speed of movement is obviously not enough, but in exchange for more space. A 3-story building was built on it, and white smoke rose from the chimney. Buggy took a closer look. Open black lens bracket Barati close black lens bracket. Huh? Barati? Did you see that? You're in luck, Buggy. Buggy was frightened to pieces by the sound suddenly sounded beside him. His eyes were wide open, his tongue stuck out, his expression was exaggerated, and he said, What's the matter with you? It's so silent, it scares me to death. Leno, who was squatting on the mast, was speechless, and said, I've been by my side all the time, didn't you notice? What? Found a ghost? Buggy's little heart almost stopped beating. This kind of silent, sudden sound is really super scary. Otherwise, how can there be people who say that they scare people and scare people to death? Haha, sorry, don't take it too seriously. Leno apologized, but he took Buggy's binoculars in his hand and looked into the distance. Sea restaurant, Barati. It was a restaurant converted from a large ship, and it was also the goal of Leno's trip. It's really thanks to you, Buggy, 20 otherwise, you might miss it if you were separated by these whales. Swinging luck. It's really metaphysical. Leno really didn't dare to mess around. Mainly, he's driven it once before. After leaving the small island where Crow got the fruit, the voyage that could have been smooth sailed suddenly and frequently occurred. Another storm, another sea kings. It was downright unlucky. It's like drinking water stuck between your teeth. Leno suspected that he opened it himself, and the superposition of Buggy became a double debuff. Simply, don't open it yourself. Take Buggy aboard. His luck, himself. His bad luck can be resolved by himself. Make sure you don't lose. Leno just thought so. Boom. The sea surface was turbulent, and the huge octopus rushed out of the water, tying and dragging the whale. Sea King's predator? Dancing octopus tentacles, to ram their ships. Wow. So big. Below, Uta, Nami, and Nuo Kagao are still exclaiming. Danger. Belmel, who was exercising with Kuina, rushed towards them and blocked them behind. Deciding to join the Hunters Guild and leaving Kokoja village, Belmel resumed training. Back then, when she was still a young girl, she joined the Marine, showed her talents, and quickly rose to the rank of Major. It can be seen that her talent is not bad. Just leave the Marine, neglect exercise, and everything is ruined. If so, give her a devil fruit. Combined with the previous training, awaken another Haki. She's sure to hold her own here in the East Blue. The position Leno gave her is not the main fighter. The Hunters Guild, an industry in the Jumeda Islands, needs someone to take care of it, and Belmel is a suitable candidate. Laugh. The light of the knife flashed past, like swift buds. Dancing Sea King's tentacles, all beheaded. One knife style, the word chrysanthemum. Kuina was one step ahead of Belmel, and appeared between the big octopus and the boat. She has a sense of knowledge and faster perception. Sea Kings, who are suffering from pain, are getting more and more crazy. The surging octopus arms wound around the ship. A mouth full of fangs, devouring it. Ah, dying. Buggy put his hands to his cheeks. The face is green. The mouth of the octopus is so smelly. Leno shook his head. Really, Buggy's luck, swinging. Leno gazed at the octopus, its huge eyes, and met his. In Leno's eyes, release Conqueror's Haki. Now the control over his own Haki is not what it used to be. Conqueror's Haki has been able to skillfully attack single and group attacks. It can also combine knowledge color and arm color to cause knowledge kill and Conqueror's physical attack respectively. Shanks' Conqueror's Haki has more potential abilities than ordinary Conquerors. So, Conqueror's also has strengths and weaknesses. Rumor has it that Shanks is an orphan from the Battle of the Valley of the Gods and was taken away by Roger, a pure celestial dragons. And celestial dragons, to rule the world, must have something special. Conqueror's Haki shock. TJ the furious big octopus fell into deep fear. Its eyeballs were white, its limbs were weak, and it fell backwards. The sea is calm. Those fountain whales have dived into the sea. Only the huge octopus floated on the surface of the sea. Leno fell to the deck. Smiling to Uta, Nami, Nuo Kagao and the others. Do you want to have an octopus feast? Think, octopus dinner, octopus dinner. Belmel saw Leno, welcomed by the children, and smiled. Balati restaurant. Because it has just opened for less than half a month, the reputation has not yet spread, and there are very few guests. The blonde kid is mopping the ground. Currently, there are only 2 people in the Balati restaurant. A chef Zap. A sous chef Sanji. There are no handymen, only Sanji. Jeppu euphemistically calls it exercise. Listen well, Sanji, an excellent chef, must control everything in the restaurant, Jeppu said. So, you're just smoking cigarettes and newspapers. Why am I working alone? It's not fair, Sanji complained. Exercise, this is exercise for you, Jeppu said. He was holding the East Blue paper, and the headline had nothing to do with the Hunters Guild, but his newly opened Bharati restaurant. The smell of wine is also afraid of deep alleys, let alone a restaurant in the middle of the sea. No advertising, no publicity, no customers at all. You have to catch your own food. The next page is the Hunters Guild. In recent months, this organization has caused quite a storm in East Blue, and has become the direction of discussion among many people. Especially the few big things they did. Defeat Kuzan, destroy the Scarlet Fleet, rebuild Elegia, and reportedly save the fashion capital of Glass Ball Island. In this era of great pirates, not only do you not join forces with pirates, but you also do what the Marine World government should do. Such a maverick, Hunters Guild, is simply a breath of fresh air, bringing a new atmosphere to East Blue. Many kingdoms and small islands, especially non-world government member countries and small islands, have greatly increased their interest in Hunter Guild. Hope to plant the banner of the Hunters Guild, suddenly. The sea shook. Sanji mopped the floor, the bucket of water tilted, and the sewage spilled all over the floor. Have to? Nothing. Sanji yelled angrily. At this time, a shadow covered it, blocking the sunlight at the door and making the restaurant dark. What? Sanji walked towards the door with a mop in his hand. When he saw who was blocking the door, he threw away the mop in shock and shouted. Chapter, Octopus. Ordinary octopus, of course Sanji is not afraid, but... Is this octopus too big? It is a circle bigger than their ships. Sea Kings. Zap had come over, one of his legs, replaced by a prosthetic, was nailed to the ground, making a sharp, cracking sound. Stand at the door. Only then did he see that there was a boat on the side of the big octopus, and the flag flying on it made his eyes narrow. Hey, Leno, the octopus is blocking the boat, approaching the berth. Okay. Then, behind the big octopus, a man pulling the octopus whiskers flew up, and he pulled the octopus away, allowing the boat to sail in. The iconic flag and the distinctive windbreaker. Sanji was shocked, and said, "Old man, they're the Hunters Guild?" Yeah. Zap nodded. The ship approached the berth, and after it came to a complete stop, Bell, Kuina, and Uda, Nami, and Nuo Kagao came down first. Wow, beauty. See them. Sanji, who was originally angry because the bucket was knocked over, suddenly decided to forgive them, with love in his eyes. Gentlemen, how can you be angry with a girl? What lovely little beauties, an angel must have come. Sanji is happy to take off. Boom. A hat interrupted his takeoff. Zapu's high hat is not as good as Garp's fist, but it is also full of love, causing Sanji to hug his head in pain. Don't be rude to your guests. Nu, Sanji grunted. Buggy was the last to disembark, looking left and right. Is there anything that can escape? Buggy pinches his chin. He scratched his head. Damn it, it's hard. Suddenly, a figure fell from the sky and came to the door of the restaurant. Leno looked at Zap and Sanji. The style of the two is still very obvious. Zap wears a chef's costume and a very tall chef's hat. The face is square, and in the eyes, there is a kind of calm after experiencing the old house and the storm. Two golden beards with braids. The right foot is a wooden prosthesis. Sanji is still a kid, also wearing a chef uniform, but no hat. He is just a trainee chef now. Has blonde hair and curly eyebrows. He was originally the third son of Vince Moquet's family. 2 years ago, Jamal's 66 Kingdom of the Vince Moquet family climbed the Red Line from North Blue to attack the Kokia Kingdom of East Blue. With the help of his sister Reiju, Sanji escaped from Jamal 66 and was exiled by his father. He went to a yacht as an apprentice chef. Soon, I met Jeppu, who came to rob. Hearing that his dream is to find all blue, Zap became interested in him. Then, they encountered a storm. Jeppu and he were stranded on an isolated island with no food left. Zap cut off his right leg. After 48 days, he was finally rescued. Because of the experience during that time, they experienced the pain of starvation at sea, so they opened this Bharati restaurant. Facing the Honorable East Blue, Hunter Guild, President. Zap didn't grovel. His temper is actually very smelly. He folded his arms and said, "Welcome to Bharati, what do you want to eat?" Leno smiled, raised his hand with his thumb, and pointed the octopus backwards, saying, I want an octopus meal." Hey, can you finish eating such a big octopus? Sanji exclaimed. Then, he frowned and said very seriously, "Wasting food is a shameful thing." Jeppu said, "Although the ingredients are brought by the guests, our restaurant has a rule that food must not be wasted." Leno said, "Could it be that you can't do it? Cooking this kind of sea kings is a test of the chef's level." He and Zap looked at each other. After a while, Jeppu said, "Sanji, go get the knife, please come and sit inside." He moves out of the way. Leno and the others sat at the long table. Nami worried. "Leno, can we really finish eating?" Bell, Mel and Nuo-chi looked up to him. Kuina and Uda looked at each other and shrugged. Buggy pretended to be mysterious, folded his arms, and said, "Don't worry, he's a big eater, he can even eat bitter gourds." But, bitter sheep, what is it? That is, the meat is very bitter, meat bitterer than medicine. This guy is a monster. I suspect that if you are hungry, even steel, earth, rocks, and trees can be used as food. Hey, 567 inches shocking Nami, Noki is 100 years old. Is that so? Leno was speechless, and said, "Don't listen to Buggy's nonsense, who can eat that?" He was trying to see if the Lord of Gluttony, talent can consume stones and absorb the nutrition of stones. On a whim, I ate a few pebbles and was seen by Buggy. Then, with Buggy's big mouth, let's call him a monster who would eat stones if he was so hungry. The sinners who bluffed did not dare to approach Leno when he was eating. I am afraid that he will catch a sinner and eat it to add to the fun. Certainly. Leno came to the conclusion that open black lens bracket the king of gluttony close black lens bracket can digest stones, but cannot absorb any nutrition from them. This is quite different from munch fruit, really fresh ingredients, rare to find. Overboard. Holding a kitchen knife, Jeppu first performed a physical examination on the big octopus and found that the body of the octopus was still alive. It's just that it seems to be unconscious, like a vegetable. Such sea kings. Even Jeppu hasn't processed it a few times, let alone it's so fresh. In his eyes, the big octopus began to differentiate into different dishes, which part should be made into what. With the recipe in mind, Jeppu took a deep breath, his feet shook, the boat tilted slightly, and he flew up and kicked out. Boom. The huge octopus was kicked into the air from the sea by him. Wow, that's amazing. Having nothing to do, Uda, Nami, and Nuo Kagao lay at the window, watching Jeppu process the ingredients. This is also an experience for diners. Such a big octopus kicked up? Bell Mel is incredible. Kuina blinked slightly, this old man is quite powerful. Buggy was surprised. Leno watched with a smile, not too surprised. Jeppu, nicknamed Redfoot, possesses very good legs. It can easily break rocks and make marks on steel. The wind kicked by his prosthetic right leg is enough to stop a bullet. How to put it, he is also a person who has been in the Grand Line for a year, and he is not comparable to the small fish and shrimps in East Blue. From Leno's point of view, if Jeppu had Haki's training method, he would be able to awaken his armed color within a few days. He has touched the threshold, it's just that you can't open that door without the key. Haki, indeed everyone has potential power, but if you don't touch it, it will always be potential. If you don't open that door, it won't come out by itself. First course, octopus foot barbecue. Second course, octopus sashimi. The third course, octopus roe. The fourth course, the dessert of our song. The freshest ingredients, only need the simplest processing method. One dish after another was quickly brought up by Sanji. Among them, the ingredients and specialties of Bharati restaurant are also mixed. Eating octopus all the time will also get boring. How to pair each dish. Let the guests not feel bored and taste different flavors, which is the test of the chef's level in the octopus feast. Chapter 67 Aokiji Kuzan. I decided to bring my talent to the Hunters Guild. Bharati restaurant, watching the dishes being served. Well, what a delicious food, but, I can't take it anymore. Buggy slumped on a chair with a round belly, he had eaten a lot. Me too, because I supported it. Nami leaned back in the chair, her belly bulging. Me too. For the first time, I found that too much food is also an annoyance. Why, Leno, can you still eat? It's amazing, everyone is in the same state. Full belly. So full, they're all holding on. Only Leno, still eating leisurely. This not only surprised Belmel, Nami, and Nuo Kagao. Jeppu and Sanji were equally amazed, what a big appetite. And, no matter what taste, you can eat it. Jeppu and Sanji's eyes lit up. Such guests are completely chefs and the best testers. After discovering that no one else ate it, the two began to cook differently, and brought out various dishes that were only in their imagination and hadn't been made yet. Leno never refuses anyone who comes, occasionally give a review. After all, he is also a foodie. Know all kinds of ingredients, seasonings and the like. Open black lens bracket ding. After training, your underwater breathing talent has been upgraded to D level, and your underwater activity time has been increased to 2 hours, close black lens bracket. Okay, underwater breathing, talent, actually improved? This talent allows Leno to move in water like a murloc without adding any direct combat power. But it is a useful talent. If you encounter opponents in the water, you will not be afraid. A full meal. Leno gave Jeppu a 5-star praise for his cooking skills. Although Luwell can also cook, her level is only in the category of delicious. After all, she is not a professional and she can't compare with Jeppu. Ah, amazing. Sanji's eyes light up. He ate a whole Sea Kings, isn't that awesome? Even Leno is to bring their own ingredients, but the service fee is definitely not a small sum. Of course Leno will not evade fares, although the reconstruction of Elijah cost a lot of money. But there is still money for a meal. What's more, the treasures looted by the dragon pirates will not disappear, but will only be transferred. Checked out. Leno said to Jeppu. Jeppu, are you interested in joining us, Hunters Guild? Okay. Zap was surprised. Leno told him the purpose of this trip. Invite Zap to serve as the chef of the celebration banquet for the reconstruction of Elijah. Leno said. After eating your food, I am more interested in you now. Are you interested in becoming a gourmet hunter? Jeppu folded his arms and said, I'm not interested. I just want to let hungry people in the sea have a place to eat. I'm not interested in joining any organization. We welcome guests who come to eat, but... No, Jeppu, you made a mistake. I didn't ask you to cook for the Hunter Guild. Leno said. That's too narrow, your cooking skills should be enjoyed by more people. Look, what you just said, having your own clear goals is in line with our first rule, and you are the same people as us. If you join us, you can still do what you want. The Hunters Guild is a free organization. Free? Sanji appeared out of nowhere and said, you mean, if the old man becomes a hunter, he can also drive a Bharati? Can we operate here without going to the hunter headquarters? Why not? Leno said with a smile. Our Hunters Guild is an organization that pursues goals and dreams, and is committed to the common development of the world. We hope that there will be excellent people to lead a certain industry and make better progress. We are protection, construction, and the era cutting edge. In my opinion, Jeppu is an excellent hunter who can make achievements in the field of food. Zap still folded his arms and shook his legs, he wasn't easily persuaded by Leno. After all, people who have had a lot of experience. Sanji asked curiously, then have you heard of open black lens bracket all blue close black lens bracket? Open black lens bracket all blue close black lens bracket. According to the legend, there are 4 oceans and a fantasy sea area with all cooking ingredients. It is a chef's paradise and a dreamland. Leno said. Well, I've heard of it, then do you believe it? Leno said. Why don't you believe it? If you believe it, it exists, to pursue, explore, and prove. Sanji happily said. Hey, smelly old man, did you hear that? All blue exists. I will definitely find it. Jeppu glanced at the excited Sanji, then looked at Leno with a sincere smile, and said, in this case, why join? I am here, and I am free, right? What benefits can we get from it? Good question. Hit the nail on the head. Leno appreciates it. Old guy, it's really thorough to see the problem. Join the Hunter Guild, and you will be protected by the Hunter Guild. If there are pirates attacking the place where our flag is hung, the Hunter Guild will be responsible for solving it. As a condition, hunters need to perform 1 or 2 tasks issued by the guild every month, and they will be credited to Hunter points. Points can increase the level of the hunter's license and obtain more rights, such as special training or others. If you are interested, you can take on more missions and increase your level quickly. You can also issue missions in the Hunters Guild. For example, if you need some kind of ingredients urgently, you can ask other hunters to help you. You need to pay some commissions or points. During this process, the guild will charge a certain commission as management and other expenses. Of course, the Hunters Guild was established not long ago, and its interior is not perfect. There are some problems that cannot be avoided. If what Leno said is true, it feels pretty good. Hunter Guild has a high degree of freedom and small restrictions. Recently in East Blue, the momentum is not small. Balati will inevitably run into trouble in this sea. Joining it is a choice, it's just that this kind of thing cannot be decided immediately. As for the banquet chef, you can agree, but the date must be determined in advance. Jeppu said. As for the Hunters Guild, I'll think about it again. Leno smiled slightly and said, okay, here are some information about our guild, and there is also an application form for joining the guild. Jeppu didn't immediately agree. Leno was not surprised. We just met for the first time, and we haven't experienced anything. Normal people will think twice. It would be surprising if Jeppu agreed directly. Say goodbye to Jep. Sanji's Bharati restaurant. Leno took everyone back to Shimotsuki village. He and Kuina are warmly welcomed by the dojo apprentices. Leno, is it true that you beat Marine Vice Admiral? Is Marine Vice Admiral good? Elegia, is it fun? Leno, I want to be a hunter too, take me to sea. Everyone is chattering. Let Leno, Kuina, feel a kind of homecoming. Really, a bunch of brats. Buggy was standing in the corner with his arms crossed, feeling uncomfortable that he, Mr. Buggy, was being ignored by the children. Uda looked curiously. She quite liked the atmosphere. The beautiful scenery here was very different from Elegia. The mountains are secluded with birdsong, the folk customs are simple, the sound of frogs in the rice fields, misty rain. Is this the home of Sister Kuina? Nami asked. Belmel surveyed his surroundings. Look at these children in the dojo again. Seeing Koshiro with a gentle demeanor again, I feel relieved. But, Nami and Nuo Kagao are always young, and they are also little girls. It takes time to adapt to the unfamiliar environment. Belmel himself also hopes to retrain, and decides to stay with Nami and Nuo Kagao. Leno took the situation, and Koshiro spoke later. He promised to let Belmel and the others stay. By the way, where's Zoro? Leno just finished speaking. The door of the dojo was pushed open. Hey, Kuina, you're back? I want to challenge you. Another year passed, and Zoro grew a little bit taller. However, compared with Kuina, which has entered the development stage and grows rapidly, it does not appear to be a green algae ghost. Zoro, do you really want to fight with me? You will still lose, Kuina said relaxedly. Humph. Zoro was arrogant and wiped his nose. He waved the 3 bamboo swords in his hand. Leno, Kuina, after you left, I am stronger than before. I want you to experience my 3-sword style. Mito stream. Kuina glanced at Leno, the instigator, and said, hey, do you really believe what Leno said? No, I think the 3-sword style is the most suitable for me, Zoro said. Then try it. Kuina took a bamboo sword, and Zoro came to the open space outside, and stood opposite each other. Nami blinked his big, weird eyes, and said, Leno, is that guy with the green algae head very powerful? Well, it's pretty awesome, Leno nodded, and said, but Kuina is better, Zoro always loses. Zoro was biting a bamboo sword, with a bamboo sword in each hand. Such a weird posture made everyone pay attention to him. Kuina held the bamboo sword with both hands to counter the power zone brought by Zoro's monster body talent. Lupin. The bamboo swords collided, and Zoro began to attack violently. The 3 bamboo swords were in his hands, forming afterimages. Belmel, Nami, Nuokagao, and Uda all looked surprised. Little Ghost Head, you are a bit powerful. Buggy pinched his chin. Uncle Ben is 3-pointed. Kuina, have you awakened observation Haki? In Koshiro's eyes under the glasses, there was a bit of surprise. Leno nodded. He felt that perhaps Koshiro hadn't appreciated Kuina's talent either. Girls' kendo is not as good as boys. This is the thought Koshiro insists on. It does make sense. Not necessarily the truth. Among the 4 emperors, there is a pervert like Charlotte Linlin. In Marine, there are many female Marines such as Momosagi Gion and Granny Suru. CP agencies include Stussy et al. To put it bluntly, Koshiro from Wano Kuni has some patriarchal ideas. Humans in pirate world have good physiques. Far more than that of his world, it requires too much. Moreover, it is possible to grow through exercise, and if the talent is not enough, you can let devil fruit help. Isn't the Blackbeard pirates using devil fruit to increase the bounty of the whole group? Except devil fruit, Jamal 66's lineage factor, Guy's artificial fruit, Vegapunks. Future technology. Can develop a lot. Now Kuina's growth should be able to change some of Koshiro's ideas. Under Kuina's observation Haki, Zoro's bamboo sword couldn't touch her. On the contrary, it was Zoro himself, who was out of breath after a burst of berserk attacks. Zoro, is that all you need for your exercise? Kuina asked. HMPH, that's not true, since you have become stronger, then I can use that trick too. Zoro held the double knives in a crossed posture, and bit the bamboo sword in his mouth, using it to block the gap for the enemy to escape. He took a deep breath and closed his eyes, okay? Leno squinted slightly. Zoro's body is filled with a special aura, not Haki, but the ghostly aura of Sword Demon. Is he starting to feel the power? Leno thought. Kuina faced Zoro directly, and also felt a different momentum. She became serious and treated it seriously. 3 swords style demon slash. Zoro lunged forward. Kuina left Shimotsuki village and often fought against people. After accumulating experience, she could see the power of Zoro's move at a glance. But she didn't escape and took a deep breath. Her body also released an unusual aura, and her attention and will were extremely focused. That is her, one heart sword, talent. Zoro's movements, in her eyes, seemed to be slowed down 10 times, 100 times. Showdown of talents and talents. Kuina stepped forward, and the whirlwind created by the bamboo sword was extremely fierce, tearing open the defense of Zoro's 3 bamboo swords. Despair. Between electric light and flint, Zoro was sent flying. Kuina, again victorious. The 2314th win, Kuina said. In the past year, the confrontation between her and Zoro has not stopped, only after leaving, each has grown differently. Damn it, next time, I will think of a more powerful move to defeat you. Zoro stood up. Not discouraged at all, still fighting high. Koshiro smiled slightly. This is what he appreciates about Zoro, the unyielding will, something many female swordsmen fail to realize. But Kuina's performance today also impressed him. Perhaps, what Leno said is right, parents should not give their children too much restraint, Koshiro thought to himself. Facing Zoro's harsh words after the battle, Kuina had heard it more than 2,000 times, and said, next time, I will be stronger. Leno greeted. Hey, Zoro, Kuina, everyone, come and eat, this time, there are a lot of delicious food. Everyone entered the dojo and sat down around the food they brought back. Leno and Kuina shared their adventure stories with Zoro. Buggy performed Torn Apart, Uda sang a song, and Nami showed off her drawing talent. Laughter, like a family. Mama Zhao, afternoon, Kuina, Zoro, and Sokka took Belmel, Uda, Nami, and New Okagao to the village to play. Leno brought gifts, went to meet Kozaburo of the lighthouse, and drank some wine with him. Buggy was suddenly left alone in the dojo, still a little uncomfortable. Those guys, don't take me? Damn it, my Uncle Buggy was abandoned? Buggy sat cross-legged, arms folded, sulking. Suddenly, Buggy felt something was wrong. Wait, why am I mad? Everyone is not here, this is my best chance to escape, my dream, a gorgeous chance. Well, I can also steal the boat, hee. Buggy, is so evil and evil, hee. Cole, who is watching the boat, is not my opponent. Step by step, Buggy moved to the door of the dojo, slipped out quickly, and just returned to the boat. The ship Dr. Cole rushed out of the cabin suddenly, knocked Buggy who was about to open the door, fell backwards, and fell on the deck. Huh? Buggy. Buggy covered the back of his head, stood up angrily, grabbed Cole by the collar, and said loudly, you bastard, didn't you see anyone? Then, out of the corner of his eye, he saw that Cole was holding something in his hand. Could it be that Cole is stealing something? Buggy's anger dissipated, he grabbed it and said, what is this? Cole was shocked, and said, big event, incredible, big event. What? Buggy opened the thing in his hand, it was a newspaper that was sent by the fax phone bug, and then printed out. Leno often communicates with Crow and Luel of Elysia, so there is a complete set of equipment in the ship. Newspapers, front page headlines. Picture is of former Marine Vice Admiral, Aokiji Kuzan negative. The title is suspenseful. Kuzan's decision. Exclusive interview with Morgans, revealing why Kuzan left Marine. Buggy quickly scanned the content of the newspaper roughly. That battle reminded me of my dream. Leno and I are sympathetic, I believe, we will become friends. I decided to bring my talents to Hunter. Chapter 68 shocked. Hey guys, Kuzan is the rookie gift pack? Kuzan, that guy, actually wants to join the Hunters Guild? Buggy reads the newspaper. His eyes widened, he stuck to the newspaper, and read it again. Why? That guy, is he crazy? Well, Marine Vice Admiral didn't do it, but you actually want to come to East Blue? The East Blue pirate, is he still alive? In Buggy's heart, he saw only darkness. A home treasure garp is enough for a pirate in East Blue to drink a pot. Adding a Hunter's Guild will make things worse. Okay, another former Marine Vice Admiral or Admiral level. Buggy imagined it. Just feel, the three mountains suddenly fell down. The dreams of countless One Piece were severely suppressed below. Originally, East Blue was the weakest sea, now, my god. Totally dark ages. That is to say, if I steal the ship and escape now, what I will face is not only the pursuit of Hunter's Guild. Facing a naval headquarters Vice Admiral. Anyway, Buggy is on Roger's ship, and has participated in many battles. Naval battle with Golden Lion. The fight with Whitebeard. Confrontation with Garp and Sengoku. Although they are all marginal overalls, they have gained experience and vision. He has a concept of the strength of Vice Admiral in this department. Unlike the Cat brothers, there are also some frogs at the bottom of the well. Buggy shuddered at the thought that he would be hunted down by a naval headquarters Vice Admiral. That picture is so beautiful. No, I still have to think of a better way. Buggy shook his head vigorously. His tiger's mouth crossed his chin, and his eyes were full of clear wisdom. If there is a description, it is very like a husky thinking. Actually, speaking of it, staying in the Hunter's Guild is also a good choice. That guy Leno, although annoying, is not inferior to Rayleigh in terms of strength, right? Add another Kuzan. The lineup of these two people is enough to challenge the 4 emperors in New World. There is no doubt that if I follow them, my worth will go up. Maybe, with their power, I can transform into 4 emperors. No, work harder, One Piece. Yes, that's it, I'm so despicable. Speaking of which, I heard from Uda that Leno beat Shanks and their enemies. Call. A gust of sea breeze blows, brushing Buggy's hair. He raised his head and looked towards the sea, as if he saw a better future. Ha, I know, the wind direction of the world is neither east nor west, it is towards me. The ship's doctor, 233, looked at Buggy strangely. This guy was frightened silly. It's gloomy, it's laughing, and it's proud. How do you act like a villain? Could it be? Is this Buggy's training? Ahem, Buggy, it's best to tell President Leno the news as soon as possible. Crow said that his side is about to explode. Oh, yes. Buggy came back to his senses, dispelled the idea of stealing the boat and escaped, and asked strangely, what exploded? Crow said that his phone bug was about to be blown up by all kinds of calls. The phone bug is a kind of snail-like creature. Too many phone connections will make them paralyzed due to exhaustion. Buggy said, you are here, I will go find Leno. Unbeknownst to Buggy, Leno went there. But he knew who to call, Koshiro. Koshiro heard that there was a big event, and took Buggy to the other side, the lighthouse on the reef. Puff. When Leno saw the news, he took a sip of wine. I believe that we will become friends. I decided to bring my talents to the Hunter's Guild. Leno was dumbfounded. Kuzan Cauldron, which one do you play? Infernal Affairs. Kuzan's resignation and where you will go are the focus of contention in the summer. Kaido, Charlotte Linlin, etc. have all issued invitations. However, with Kuzan missing, the heat dropped. On the contrary, Marines news kept coming, and a big battle against pirates was organized to show Marines justice. Tell the world that our Marine is really working. Sakazuki, Paluzolino, all kinds of pirate groups. In addition, Momosagi Gion and Shafu Kaji also stood out in this battle. Especially the tall and beautiful Momosagi, not to mention strength first. Those long legs attracted a group of people. More than a month has passed, and no one has mentioned where Kuzan has gone. The world seems to have forgotten him, not even Leno. For one thing, Leno has his own plan to gain a firm foothold in East Blue first. Secondly, Kuzan's former Marine Vice Admiral status resolutely resigned, which still makes many people suspect that there may be fraud. 3. Leno didn't have his contact information, so he even called the Marine headquarters to ask, but they only said one word, FK off. Now, Kuzan has publicly stated that he will join the Hunter's Guild. Leno wanted to say, Kuzan, I have received your talent. People also pay? A little bit, sorry, eat it dry? Could it be that Kuzan is the novice gift package sent by the system? Traveling through pirates, the opening rewards a Kuzan. Such big news. Leno is definitely going to come forward. He packed up quickly, bid farewell to Belmel and the others, took Kuina, Uda, Buggy, and Maliu back to Elijah. He is still on board and has contacted Crow. Crow told him that a reporter from the World Economic News Agency, Zhang Jing, was on the island. Obviously, Morgans knows what the audience wants to see when the report comes out. Hunter's Guild's reaction. Leno doubts that Kuzan and Morgans have any deal. Buggy, look, what is top class? This is, he disappeared for more than a month, leaving the world without a trace. But when he stood up again, he told the world, what is called the top stream of pirate news. Leno teases Kuzan. Think about it, get excited, one of the 3 admirals in the future Marine, ready to join him? This wave, High-end game. I issue a statement in my name, Hunter Guild. Welcomes Kuzan, as well as those who have goals and dreams in the world to join. I will issue a statement in the name of the Hunter Guild. Welcome Kuzan to join the Hunter family. Although Kuzan is a Marine Vice Admiral, joining the Hunter Guild will not have privileges. You need to start from the E level, and the Hunter Guild will start with treat every hunter equally. Leno rushes back to Elegia. It will take time, but news back waits for no one. It can only be arranged in this way first. In order to show Hunter's Guild respect for Kuzan's joining, an induction ceremony will be held in Elegia. A test for Kuzan. Forget it. Although everyone denies privileges, everyone knows that with Kuzan's combat power, where would he not be welcome? Leno squinted his eyes, took advantage of the attention Kuzan brought, and conducted a wave of hunter assessments in East Blue in advance. According to Leno's original plan, the rebuilding in Elegia will be completed, and then new recruits will be recruited. But plans are not as good as changes. The joining of Kuzan has a huge impact on Hunter Guild. It is bound to attract a lot of attention in East Blue and the world. It's okay to plan ahead. I said before that the Hunter's Guild will resound throughout East Blue for a year. Now, it has been basically achieved, and many plans can also be advanced. The rebuilding of Elegia will be almost completed after the first batch of hunters' assessments are over, and there will be a running-in period for more than half a year. Leno carefully considered and wrote the proposal. Soon, Crow contacted him again. Kuzan contact me and want to talk to you. Okay. Leno soon received a call from Kuzan. Kuzan, the long-planned report by you and Morgans shocked the world. Leno laughed. From some existing news, Leno concluded that this report must have been written for several days before it will be released around the world. Morgans, the guy who gave the 5 elders a headache, loves to make big news. The bigger the news, the more he likes it. Even, will add oil and vinegar. It fits the style of media people very much, Kuzan said. Didn't scare you? I'm sorry, because I can't find your contact information, I can only do this. Depend on. You said it earlier. Leno slapped his forehead. He didn't leave a number at the time. To be honest, I was still shocked. You were shocked when you resigned, but you are still welcome to join. Leno was in a good mood and said, so, what goals do you have, or is it a dream? Kuzan said. I? Leno was stunned. He thought of several reasons, but he didn't expect that Kuzan came here for himself. Could it be? This is called love? A battle, the feelings that come out of it? Kuzan said. First joined Marine because first thought Marine was just, at that time, I was full of enthusiasm. However, the Ohara incident made me rethink, what is justice? Absolute, enthusiastic, lazy, domineering. It seems that everyone has a different definition of justice. But anyway, here I am, without hope. Your concept has attracted me. When I was in the Windmill Village, I became very interested in what you described. It's just that it's not enough to just have a dream, you also need strength. You won, you convinced me, of course, at that time, I hadn't decided to leave. It was the decisions made by the world government and Marine, which reminded me of Ohara. At that time, they were the same, and they would do anything to bury something. I feel very tired. After thinking about it, I made a choice, just like the dragon back then, leave Marine. I wasn't sure at that time whether to join you, but what you did afterwards made me firm up my mind. I see in you, and in you, something different, a hope, a possibility. So, my goal is to change the hope and possibility of the world. I bet the future on you. After listening to Kuzan's mental journey and confession, Leno suddenly realized. The purpose and position of Hunter Guild coincides with Kuzan's philosophy in certain regulations. Therefore, he is not infernal affairs. Leno sincerely said. Kuzan, welcome to join. Thank you, boss. Haha, whoever is with whom between us, just call me Leno. Leno laughed. Hang up the call with Kuzan. Leno rubbed his forehead. Undoubtedly, his continuous involvement has caused the butterfly effect to expand. The world of pirates is changing. The addition of Kuzan will changing the world of pirates, causing chaos in the future timeline, and restricting Leno's profit. Many things, many people, and the fate of the future are already changing, like a big ship sailing to an unknown place. Luffy, you have to hold on. You are the man who is going to be the One Piece. Leno feels that historical details can be changed, but the general trend is difficult. Issues such as celestial dragons, the Revolutionary Army, and Roger's legacy will definitely come to a result. Also, poor Bowie's prophecy. The point in time when Uranus, Poseidon, and Pluton are all together at the same time. These are the products driven by the strong inertia of history, and local changes will not affect the direction of the rolling wheels. This is called historical inevitability. However, no matter what kind of historical wheels it is, the strength is enough, and the tires will be removed for you. Leno's confidence soared. Kuzan, join the Hunter Guild. Leno's guess became a reality, and Morgans put the interview as a special feature, broadcasting it all over the world on the same day. The news shocked the world. No less than in the original plot, Kuzan was defeated and joined the Blackbeard pirates. Indeed, Kuzan is not yet admiral, but the current Hunter Guild has yet to prove itself in the world. There is also some gap with Blackbeard, who made a big fuss in the Summit War and defeated the Whitebeard remnants to become the new 4 emperors. The point is, the previous victory or defeat between the two has attracted the attention of the world. West Blue. The streets of a certain country. A girl with short black hair, wearing a coat, lowered the brim of her hat, reading a newspaper, showing an unbelievable look. Why? Kuzan will leave Marine. There was no lack of panic in her eyes. The name, Kuzan, brought her memory back to that day. Ohara destroyed. Devil's son, Nico Robin. She suppressed her fear, calmed down, and glanced at the information in the newspaper again. East Blue, Hunters Guild? Robin glanced around and left quickly. Recently, a gang has been chasing her. Not long after Robin left, Locke Dale, with a combed back hair, walks through the street, smoking a cigar, followed by Daz Bonus. He listened to the people around him discussing the words, Kuzan, and Hunters Guild, and the veins on his forehead couldn't help beating. That guy, what luck. If you still can't find Nico Robin, you can only advance to the Grand Line to gain a foothold in 7 Warlords of the Sea. The 7 Warlords of the Sea system was proposed at the World Summit last year, and Jinbei, Gecko Moria, etc. have already joined. Locke Dahl is targeting one of the spots, North Blue. Swallow Island. The home of Wolf, a self-proclaimed genius inventor. Trafalgar Law and the 3 friends of Red Heart Pirates flipped through the newspaper. Hunter Guild, that's amazing. It must be a very powerful pirate group, right? Marine Vice Admiral is actually joining. It doesn't seem to be the pirates, Beppo. Isn't it? East Blue, it's too far away from us. On the sea, the ships of the Don Quixote family sailed. Hey, Kuzan, you made a decision that shocked the world. Doflamingo holds the newspaper. There's a smile on his face, but his eyes are cold. Since the beginning of this year, Hunter Guild has made a big splash, and with Kuzan joining, its strength should not be underestimated. Need to send someone over to East Blue to see what's going on. But, Dover Delaware Reese Rose's plan. Reese Rose's plan, which cannot be missed, is an important part of the Don Quixote family's transition from North Blue to New World. Doflamingo put down the newspaper and hesitated. Forget it, East Blue is still far away from New World, don't waste manpower. Going from New World to East Blue is no less difficult than going from East Blue to New World. The people sent are too weak and may disappear halfway. The people sent are too strong and have an impact on the plan. Compared to us, the reaction of world government and marine will be more exciting, right? 5 elders, what expression will it be? When Doflamingo thought of the interesting scene that might be happening, he couldn't help laughing. Shishi. Marijoy. Kuzan made a disappointing decision. He has abandoned his justice. Marine's face has been trampled on again. 5 elders is still calm. Kuzan resigned. It doesn't matter where he goes, what they care about is a higher level. How about inviting Leno to become 7 Warlords of the Sea? Can consider it, Paradise Section, Calm Belt, Hydra Island. Gloriosa carefully read the hard-earned newspapers and analyzed the changes in the world situation to the woman on the throne. Leno of the Hunters Guild, pay more attention. Boa Hancock rested his chin on his hand, squinted his eyes, and said in disgust, what is a man to care about? The concubine is as beautiful as a fairy, no matter what he does, he will submit to the concubine's feet. Chapter 69 Nico Robin, Changing Fate, Hunter Recruitment begins. Kuzan has officially joined the Hunters Guild. Chairman Leno voiced, welcome Kuzan, and people with dreams and goals in the world to join. The fairness of the Hunter Guild, former Marine Vice Admiral Kuzan, must also start with E-rank hunters. The Hunters Guild is holding an induction ceremony for Kuzan in Elegia. The Hunters Guild issued a statement. The first batch of hunters will be recruited and assessed. Applicants are requested to arrive at the Zoo Meta Islands by the end of September. The recruiting content of the Hunter Guild is explained in detail. Novice hunters have a 6-month inspection period, and if they pass, they will be given an E-level license. The first batch of hunters recruited by the Hunter Guild will only be carried out in East Blue. The kingdoms of East Blue have issued a statement of support and hope to cooperate. The bounty hunters in East Blue have mixed views on the Hunters Guild. Some people think it breaks the rules of the bounty hunters. The Doug family, the #1 bounty hunter in East Blue, criticized the Hunters Guild for not understanding the spirit of hunters and said they would never join. Recently, the entire East Blue news has been dominated by the Hunter Guild. As long as it has something to do with the Hunters Guild, the sales of the newspaper will be good. Newspapers also want to make money. All kinds of cattle and horses jumped out to grab their attention. There are also some tabloids that have compiled many love stories and set them on Leno and Kuzan. Because East Blue is the weakest sea of pirates, compared with the other 3 seas, the lives of the people are still decent. This man, as long as life is passable, you will pay attention to these messes. But, these things have nothing to do with Leno, Elegia. The city, which is still under reconstruction, has begun to take shape. Meeting room. At present, the members of the Hunters Guild are gathered here. Chairman, Leno. Former Marine Vice Admiral, Lianzan. Do it all, Chloe, Kuina, Louvel, Buddy, King Elegia, Valoraldehyde. Open black lens bracket Hunter Guild close black lens bracket previously, the purpose, conditions, rules, etc. have been announced. Only the organizational structure has not yet come out. The Hunters Guild will not have an overly strict organizational structure. The binding force on hunters is only 12. This is a decision that Leno has carefully considered. Hunters must be free to pursue goals and dreams, through strict teaching plans and marine-style management. Tantamount to contradicting itself. However, for the time being, there will be 5 parts: management, logistics group, roundtable council, law firm, and hunter school. Everyone is quiet and listening. Hunter Guild, how to develop, they don't have a thorough understanding of Leno. This is the organization that Leno single-handedly built. Even the newly joined Kuzan has no objection, he didn't come to grab power. Leno is the guide of Hunter Guild, only he knows how to get there. 1. The management, as the name suggests, is the person who directly manages the hunters. The establishment of the management team will be increased or decreased according to the hunter genre, and the managers will be those who have made penultimate achievements in this field. For example, the most bounty hunters can be subdivided into pirate hunters, mission hunters, treasure hunters, etc. Then, there will be a corresponding management team to take charge of these hunters. The management will be elected once every 4 years. Please refer to the 12 Rules of the Hunter for details. Secondly, the logistics team, providing hunters with support, medical care, intelligence, funds, etc., and playing an auxiliary role for hunters. Hunters in the logistics team don't need to have the minimum force, but they need outstanding talents in this field. In addition, the hunter tavern strongholds set up by various islands and countries, and those who are responsible for connecting with local hunters are classified as the logistics team. Thirdly, the Round Table Council is the leader who manages the entire Hunter Guild and is responsible for the operation of the entire Hunter Guild. There are 13 seats in the council, and the president, that is, me, will be directly appointed from among the hunters, and will participate in the various systems, development directions, hunter rank promotions, etc. of the Hunter Guild. The seats of the House of Representatives are set, and the seats are not fixed. They are elected by the hunters of each region and have the power to propose and supervise. The seats of the House of Representatives are elected every 4 years. For details, refer to the 12 Rules of the Hunter. Fourth, the law firm, trial for hunters who violate Articles 3 and 4 of the 12 Rules for Hunters. Hunters convicted by the law firm can choose to defend themselves, and fugitives will be hunted down by all hunters. The law firm will have the right to judge non-hunters who smear, impersonate, or offend the Hunter Guild. Law firms do not have the right to arrest. All trials must be reported to the Parliament, and the specific arrests will be announced by the Parliament. Fifth, Hunter School. A school responsible for education, training for hunters, including, but not limited to, military and cultural subjects. In addition, I will also be responsible for the training of novice hunters, and conduct education on the purpose and rules of the Hunter Guild. I will be the principal of the Hunter School, and I will assign someone to manage it. Hunter School will not be controlled by the council, management, logistics team, and law firm. It is an institution independent of the Hunter Guild. The content of Leno's meeting was published in the Hunters Guild News. Newspapers, news, the mouthpiece of public opinion. Naturally, Leno couldn't leave it all to outsiders, so he asked Luwell to recruit a group of journalists to get this newspaper. Hunters Guild News is only issued in a small area, and it is provided to hunters, or those who are interested in Hunters Guild. Certainly, in view of the influence, it is not as good as the old newspaper. Leno authorized Morgans of the World News Economic Agency to reprint reports, cooperate with each other, and achieve mutual achievements. With the management structure of the Hunters Guild is clear. Hunter recruitment officially begins. Although there is still a month to go, there are already some people from all over East Blue, embarking on a journey. Boom! In the clear sky, a gunshot rang out. Immediately in the distance, a flying bird swirled and fell. The man wearing a top hat wiped his sniper rifle, which attracted cheers from countless people on board. Van Oka! Van Oka! Van Oka looked calm. One Piece world, known as the famous saying. East Blue is a sniper. Usopp, Duddy, Van Oka, and the future Usopp are all big-name snipers. Some island. Among the piles of treasures, loud laughter shook the cave dust, rustling down. Hunter Guild. Interesting. The young man with iron chains wrapped around his body grinned sneeringly. There must be a lot of interesting people, right? A big ship sailing into the East Blue, riding the wind and waves. It flies the flag of the world government. Although all over the world, it is blocked by the Grand Line, Com Belt, and Red Line. But there are ships between them. With the Marijoy lift, you can do it. This route is monopolized by the world government. Every time you travel, you need to pay a high boat fee. Therefore, generally only the world government's own ships will haunt the 4 seas. Rob Luchi, who was still a little young, but radiated coldness, stood at the bow of the boat. Kaku with a long nose, like a puppet, with a dull expression, holding a pile of documents, flipping through the pages repeatedly. This is a long-term latent task, and the test is great. In particular, Aokiji Kuzan joined Open Black Lens Bracket Hunter Guild Close Black Lens Bracket. Bring them a lot of trouble. Khalifa crossed her long legs, drinking coffee and watching a piece of news. The great pirate who fought against Bullet, Shah Lakadar, is invited to be one of the 7 warlords of the sea. Rogtown. As a merchant ship from West Blue docked, the dock workers began to carry the goods from West Blue. Merchants from all over East Blue rushed to buy. Different sea areas, different specialties, bring huge business opportunities. The town of Rog, where the One Piece King Roger was once executed, is now a famous distribution center for foreign trade commodities in East Blue. Ships from the Marine and the world government come every few days, bringing all kinds of rare treasures and selling them to the nobles. Anyway, nobles have plenty of money. Suddenly, an eye appeared on the box that had just been moved to the warehouse. It turned around and looked around, but found no one there. On the box, 2 hands grew again, quickly opened the box, and a short-haired girl stood up from inside. Jumeda Islands. In the big wooden house on the hunting ground. Leno touched his chin when he saw the news about K. Lakadar. Buggy, tell me, is Locke a man or woman? What? Buggy looked confused. Locke doll, who is it? Leno was very interested, looked at the photos repeatedly, and thought that he still had the record pointer of the Shemale King, and asked about it when the time came. The door opened and Chloe walked in. Those who signed up for the hunter assessment have arrived one after another, and we are arranging for them to all go to Kesha Town. In a blink of an eye, it was already the end of September. The Hunters Guild and various affairs are progressing normally. With Kuzan, take control of Elegia, Leno is much more relaxed. Among the guys who came, there should be some guys with good talents. Leno put down the newspaper and asked. Holding hunter assessments and gathering talents from all over East Blue is a good way to harvest talents. Held once a year. Leno can lie down perfectly, waiting for crop after crop, fresh and green talent will be delivered to your door automatically. It's just a waste of money, there are a few thorns. Crow nodded. With so many guys with different personalities gathered together, it would be strange if they didn't fight. Fortunately, Kesha Town was taken over by the dragon pirates not long ago. The remaining villagers, worried about the Murlocks' revenge, moved to Kokoja village to take care of each other. The village is deserted. The Hunters Guild leased the Jumida Kingdom for reconstruction, promised to pay a certain amount of tax every year, and got the land. The Jumida Kingdom is definitely not losing money. They have a vast land and few people. If there is no one on the land, it is worthless at all. Now cooperating with the Hunter Guild to bring a large number of outsiders is a measure to increase tax revenue for the Jumida Kingdom. At the same time, they will be protected by the Hunters Guild. No matter how they think about it, they will earn money. Leno said with a smile. Hope, give me some expectations. A lively town. Guys from different regions and islands. In the pubs and restaurants that can be seen everywhere, they're consuming wantonly, eating and drinking. Rob Luchi didn't like these guys very much, sitting in the corner of the restaurant, waiting quietly. Not for a while. Kaku and Khalifa are back. 0 for Flowers 00. Hunter Guild posted a notice. The first batch of hunter assessments will start in the afternoon. Applicants will go to the Hunter Tavern to register, and 100 people will board the ship and go to the examination room. In addition, if you have special talents, such as Grandmaster medical skills, music, or profound knowledge, etc., you can explain that you will be assessed by the logistics team. If you have outstanding talents in this field, you will be granted the second immunity. The undercover trio is dominated by Luchi. He has the strongest strength, the highest IQ, and the calmest when things happen. He is known as the CP organization and the first genius in 800 years. The strongest and coldest killing weapon of all time. The pigeon, Hadwoli, on Luchi's shoulder opened its mouth. Just in case, Khalifa, you participate in the logistics team assessment. Okay. Khalifa touched her glasses. She was not good at fighting, but better at intelligence gathering, so it was more suitable for her to join the logistics team. The trio came to the tavern to sign up, and quickly gathered 100 people. They came to the seaside and boarded a big boat. The big ship sailed slowly overseas. Hey, what are the assessments of the Hunters Guild? Yes, I don't know anything. The people on board were talking. Luchi and Kaku pretended not to know each other. Khalifa was not here, and her assessment was different from theirs. In fact, this is also reasonable. Not everyone is suitable for combat, and the roles of logistics and support are equally important. Happy, fight, or hunt? The red-haired young man with chains around his body let out a big laugh. It turned out to be him, the most notorious treasure hunter in the East Blue, Maid Terega. Someone recognized him. Luchi glanced at it and found that his iron chain was growing out of his body. Demon fruit power. Luchi narrowed his eyes slightly. Before performing the mission, Spandam also gave him a devil fruit to enhance his strength. Zero, Kaku and Khalifa don't have that benefit. The big ship came to a distance of 30 miles from the coast. Another ship, flying a bright flag, was waiting here early, and behind the ship, there was a small island. Hula. Clothes hunting. Saw, guys who want to be hunters. With a shout. On the bow, Buggy stands with folded arms, wearing the uniform of the Hunters Guild and a three-cornered hat. Facing the eyes of 100 people, Buggy smiled triumphantly. Fortunately, this uncle joined early, so he is also a veteran. Welcome to the first test of the Hunters Guild. Survival in the sea. I am your chief examiner, Mr. Buggy. See that island? There are different survival tools on it, and each of you will choose a tool. Assessment Item 1. Please form a team of 10 people and use those tools to make a navigator. Assessment Item 2. There are 10 maps on the island, which are the charts for the next examination room. Please find them. Note 1. The island is very dangerous. There are various traps set by Mr. Buggy himself. Hee. Note 2. Attacking members of this group and other groups is not allowed in this examination room. Violators will be directly eliminated and will not be allowed to participate in the assessment within 4 years. Note 3. For this assessment, the time to stay on the island is 3 hours, and you must arrive at the next examination room to pass. Buggy folded his arms, laughed, and said, "How about it? Isn't it fun? Well, let's get started." With a wave of Buggy's hand, the big ship put down 10 small boats. After listening to the rules, everyone on board looked at each other in blank dismay. Luchi narrowed his eyes. Is it a test of temporary teamwork, adaptability and certain organizational skills? Hey haha, who wants to join me? Toreha laughed and jumped onto a small boat. Although Toreha was notorious, but his strength was indeed strong, and some people moved him, so he quickly summoned 9 people. Seeing the boat heading towards the island, the others became anxious and recruited each other one after another. 10 boats docked. In midair, newsbirds, carrying videophone bugs, took all-round shots and live broadcasts of the island. In the hunting ground, Leno, Kuina, Crow, and the visiting guest Morgans are watching the live broadcast of the assessment. Leno, you are such a genius to think of such a way, Morgans praised with a cigar in his mouth. He didn't expect that his newsbird could be used in this way besides delivering newspapers. Hunter Guild. The first assessment has attracted the attention of the outside world. As a great journalist, Morgans naturally hoped to get first-hand news, so he came to East Blue to meet Leno in person. Although the Hunter assessment is an internal secret and will never be broadcast live to the outside world, Morgans is satisfied with getting leftovers. Leno smiled and said, "Morgans, do you want to take a gamble? Let's see which team can reach the next test room first." Leno naturally welcomes the arrival of Morgans. The newspapers and information he has are very useful to the current Hunter Guild. Oh, Morgans is a demon fruit power that has been kept in an animal state, and Leno suspects that he has awakened. His wings were as flexible as his hands, and he pinched his chin. What's the bet? Leno said, "If you win, I will tell you a big secret. If you lose, you will pay for today's consumption." Morgans laughed and said, "Haha, interesting, big secret. Okay, I bet, I choose Torea's Team 0. Chapter 70 Copy S's Class Observation Haki, Predict the Potential of the Future. Oh, Toroka? Leno looked at the red-haired youth on the screen, with iron chains extending from his palms wrapped around his body. Morgans picked up the wineglass in his other hand. If I'm not mistaken, he is a demon-capable user, Paramisha Iron Chain Fruit. A very nice fruit. East Blue is weak, as we all know. A devil fruit's ability is enough to win the first place in this ship. Of course, I'm not saying you're weak. This gentleman and this lady seem to have awakened observation Haki. Morgans glanced at Kuina and Crow, and praised, "In the paradise, you already have a place." As for President Leno, it's really unfathomable. Leno smiled. Morgans deserves to be a news player and can talk. Leno is not surprised that Morgans chose Torea, who has been eye-catching since the beginning of the live broadcast. If Leno didn't see someone else, he wouldn't have this bet with Morgans. "President Leno, who will you choose?" Morgans asked curiously. "Also, if none of the people we choose wins the first place, how will we decide the winner? There are a total of 10 groups, and they will only select 2 of them. What if someone suddenly emerges from the other 8? Leno said. "Then the teams that each bet on, whoever arrives first wins." "Good. Interesting." Morgans beak, with a cigar in his mouth, said, "So, choose?" Leno said, "I choose the group that starts last." Oh, Morgans squinted and looked at the last group. The team leader was a young man in black trousers, white shirt, and a bird on his shoulder. He is serious and serious, it has some momentum. Morgans searched his memory, trying to see if he knew the other person, but there was no memory of the other person in his mind. He looked again at the others on board. Those who can be left at the end, those who have not been picked up by the other 9 groups. Not to mention the old, the weak, the sick and the disabled, it's about the same. "Are you sure you want them?" Morgans wondered. Leno nodded and said, "Well, let's choose them." "Why? How do you think? The other 8 groups are more suitable than them." Morgans observed repeatedly. They all came to a conclusion that Leno was doomed. Leno smiled and said, "No, I saw something different from them." "What? Weak. Weak." Leno said. "The so-called weak is not absolute. For example, an elephant can't resist an ant that gets into its nostril." Morgans shook his head and said, "Perhaps, what we see is different. The strong are the ones who control everything." Leno smiled, and didn't try to argue with Morgans. Anyway, he was running the train with his mouth full, talking nonsense with Morgans. He is optimistic about the last group because he saw an acquaintance, Rob Luchi. Rob Luchi is one of the weapons secretly cultivated by the CP9 Department of the World Government, and of course it will not be exposed easily. It is extremely important to conceal the identity of the spy personnel. Even Morgan's, it is impossible to know before CP9 reveals himself. Otherwise, wouldn't the world government have no secrets to Morgan's? That can't happen. Morgan's does have some power, but can't shake world government yet. Also, Luchi and the others are different from Queen of the Pleasure District Stussy. Stussy is the old aunt who is called Charlotte Linlin's sister. Luchi and them, they're all newcomers who have just debuted. In addition, Leno's bet also has a certain relationship with the content of the first test. This level, the gap between personal strength and weakness will be narrowed. Choice, cooperation, and mutual assistance are more important. The 10 groups came to the island one after another, and various tools were laid out on the long table on the beach. There are knives, swords, saws, axes, ropes, logs, planks, and more. As soon as Toreha landed, he said to the 9 people in his group, "Hey, you guys, don't hold me back." Yes. Toreha nodded obediently when he saw the 9 people, and he was satisfied. "I'm going to find a map. You're building a raft here, do you hear me?" He chose an axe from the tool pile. Seeing this, other groups basically followed suit after deliberation. Luchi thought for a moment, looked at the sky, the sun was shining brightly, and the newsbird was flying, carrying the image phone bug. Someone is watching? A member of the Hunters Guild? It seems that they are paying attention here. The task given to them by the world government is to collect as much information as possible about the Hunter Guild, so naturally they have to climb to the top. Only by performing well enough can you get attention. Low-key, there is no contradiction with showing strength. Luchi lowered his head and asked the other 9 people, "What are you all good at?" Kaku didn't play with him, he had to rely on himself. The people he brought included old people, women, and young people, and they looked very thin. I'm a shipwright," said the old man, although everyone was puzzled by the fact that an old man had come to take the hunter exam, but hearing that he was a shipwright, his eyes lit up. "My strength is great, I can lift 300 caddies. I am a hunter, I can hunt." After listening to their introduction, Luchi said, "If you want to pass the test, just listen to me. It is good. Can?" The remaining 9 people had no opinion because they were weak. They nodded one after another when they heard Luchi's arrangement. "The hunter and I went to find a map, and you listened to the shipwright's arrangement and made a raft." 11. Luchi said, "By the way, everyone's tools should not be the same. Those who build rafts must have the priority. The tools of me and the hunter can be used by you." Is that okay?" Everyone was surprised. Didn't it mean that each person chooses a tool? Luchi said, "However, there is no regulation in the assessment that the tools cannot be shared with each other, or should they be used collectively? Look, the tools for building a raft, rope, wood, nails, hammer, and sails, are all counted as one tool separately. How to choose these tools reasonably and bring out everyone's strength may be the key to passing the test." Sharp. Amazing. The other 9 people applauded in admiration when they heard Luchi's clear analysis. "What about me?" The hunter pointed to himself. "You need to collect some food and water for everyone, and build a raft in 3 hours, just the beginning. Don't forget, the name of this level is survival in the sea. The next voyage to the next level is the key. Maintaining physical strength is a very important thing." Luchi's voice came out clearly. Suddenly, Morgan's had a bad feeling. That's right, he overlooked that this is not a one-on-one duel, but a teamwork investigation. Not just Morgan's. Toreha and his group, too, ignored it. Everyone is still in charge of themselves. Select tools, leaning toward the combat category. When you want to build a raft, only to find that the wood and planks on the beach are not allowed to be used, they can only cut down the trees on the island. Toreha's search for the map went smoothly, but Buggy's trap couldn't stop him. But when he came back and found the problem, it was already too late. If it weren't for the examiner Buggy watching over them, Toreha would have wanted to give them a hard time. It's not that Buggy is so strong, but that behind him stands the Hunters Guild. Not long ago, the Doug family, the #1 bounty hunter in East Blue, clamored to show the Hunter Guild a good look. "Overnight, I lived a beautiful life. Their islands are still covered in ice and snow. Nobody wants to get in trouble." 3 hours passed. The team that built the raft took the charts and set off one after another. Toreha's team finished the raft after he tied the logs together with his own chains. It's just that the roughness is no different from bundling wood randomly. This is very different from Luchi's team. Luchi's group is not that good, but compared with other groups, it is more conspicuous, highlighting a reasonable one. From the island to the next assessment point, there are 30 nautical miles, and the first 10 nautical miles are reefs and eddy areas. The second 10 nautical miles is the sea monster area, where sea kings appear. The third 10 nautical miles, free racing zone, there will be unexpected attacks, pay attention to precautions. Luchi and the others soon met the distressed group. They hit the rocks and the raft scattered. The team members hold the wood and float with the current. The rescue ship prepared by the Hunters Guild began to rescue. Sea King's area. Luchi's group caught up with Toreha's group who started first. Under the surface of the sea, the swimming Sea Kings cast large shadows in the sun, and with their huge bodies, they set off huge waves in the sea. "Hold on, careful. Amidst the exclamation, some insufficiently strong rafts were slammed down by the raging waves and torn apart. Wonderful, really wonderful, Morgans applauded. It is much easier to be a spectator than an assessment person. The turbulent waves, the monsters who don't know where they are, and the crisis of being overturned at any time give people great excitement. Although Morgans is on the sidelines, watching the adventure on the screen, he can't help but be personally on the scene. In particular, he made a bet with Leno and had a sense of participation. Leno said relaxedly, "You bet on Toria, it looks like you're going to lose." On the screen, in Torega's group, he was the only one left. The others were all in the waves and were accidentally swept away. It wasn't Torega's intention. It was the waves rushing in, which restricted his devil fruit ability to a certain extent, and his iron chains couldn't tie the raft apart. Right now, he can only stand on the log and paddle forward by himself. One Piece World, Seawater, Seastone, and Haki are 3 special items that can deal with demon fruit power. Don't be complacent, there are still the last 10 nautical miles. Until the last moment, the winner or loser is unpredictable, Morgans insisted. The last 10 nautical miles. Ships appeared around and bombarded the rafts. Some rafts slowed down because of fear. Only Toreha and Luchi's team struggled forward, although Toreha struggled to catch up. With oars, food and water, Luchi's team, which replenished their physical strength, was even better. Seeing Luchi's team, they worked together to win. Morgans cocked his mouth. I admit that what you said has some truth. Weakness also has weak areas of force. But, Morgans shrugged, looked at Luchi, and said, without the leadership of the strong, the weak will always be weak. Leno nodded, acknowledging Morgans' statement. .0 No Luchi. Those people are just a mess. However, this did not prevent him from winning. He smiled and clinked glasses with Morgans, saying, "You can pay the bill." Cunning guy, you must know his origin. Morgans shook his head helplessly. Ding. You beat your opponent, scan to talents. Big news, SSS level, Albatross, SS level, Observation Haki, SS level, Communication, SS level, Armed. Color Haki, Level S, Business Management, Level S, Training Birds, Level S, Bird's Eye Eyes, Level A, Strong, Level A, Swordsmanship, Level A, Singing, Level A. The system prompt sounds. There is no doubt that the VAM itself is also in the system's category of winning or losing. Morgans has a lot of talent. After the A-level talent, there is a series of talents, most of which are related to the industry Morgans is engaged in. Leno wasn't very interested. Morgans actually has an SSS level talent, news. There is no doubt that Morgans is a world-class expert in the field of journalism, and even the 5 elders have a headache. 3 sulfur monosulfide level talents, Albatross, knowledgeable, and communicative. Open black lens bracket Albatross close black lens bracket is his devil fruit ability, second only to world-class knowledge and knowledge. There is also quite powerful, communication, open black lens bracket please host choose a talent as soon as possible, close black lens bracket. What to choose? Leno hesitated. Normally speaking, choosing an SSS level talent is absolutely right. But this talent, to Leno, is a tasteless one. The effect of many talents can be roughly judged from its name. Big News is undoubtedly a talent for making news and bringing rhythm, which fits Morgans who loves to make trouble. But to Leno, what's the use? Open black lens bracket Albatross close black lens bracket? Unlike Leno's fighting style, Logia is okay. Communication is similar to Big News, tasteless. So, only the sulfur monosulfide rank open black lens bracket Observation Haki close black lens bracket is left. Leno's Observation Haki has been upgraded to S rank, and the upper limit has been further increased. The benefits are self-evident. Open black lens bracket ding, congratulations to host for duplicating talent, Observation Haki, close black lens bracket. Talent introduction. The potential of the heart can sharpen one's 5 senses, and can detect the breath and emotional changes of surrounding creatures, which can be used to predict and avoid danger, close black lens bracket. Strength. SS level, stronger talent, combined with Leno. It seems that there is a kind of cool power flowing through the brain region, opening up some undeveloped areas. The slight pain made him frown slightly. What's wrong? Morgans turned to ask. It's okay, I thought of something. In Leno's mind, some pictures flashed in an instant. But the next second, Morgans turned his head and asked, what's wrong? Leno blurted out. It's okay, I thought of something. Oh, Morgans blinked and said, would you like to gamble again to see who can pass the second level the fastest, the physical test? On the screen, the second level of the Hunter assessment has started 1.9. Examiner, it's Kuina. The second level is called Physical Test. At this level, there is no longer any cooperation. Instead, 10 major checks are carried out on each person's physical fitness. Those who pass the first test will undergo tests related to physical fitness, such as weightlifting, running, and high jump. Morgans said, I'm very interested in the big secret you told me. He is a very curious person. Leno took a sip of his wine slightly. Take a breath. The ecstasy in my heart, predict future? His observation Haki just now successfully predicted the future 2 or 3 seconds later. This is Katakuri's ability. Could it be that Morgan's observation Haki hides or has a similar potential? Probably. World government wanted to catch Morgan's not once, but he seemed to have expected it and left early every time. Leno smiled and said, "Sorry, I won't give you a chance to win, but I can tell you the big secret." "What?" Morgan's asked. Leno said leisurely, "Roger's child is still alive." Morgan's round bird eyes widened instantly, staring at Leno, and exclaimed loudly, "What?" Leno smiled and said, "I didn't say anything, so don't report it, the world government will probably go crazy." Morgans took a sip of wine to calm down his shock, nodded and said, "That's right, they were in South Blue back then, but they made a lot of trouble. A large number of babies born during that time period died tragically. Who dares to touch this taboo?" His eyes flickered. Roger's child was still alive, and he believed that he could sell for a high price, as long as the price was right. But Leno was right. Some news will be fatal. For the time being, it's better to keep it a secret. Leno stood up. "Where are you going?" Morgans asked. Leno said with a smile, "Harvesting talent. I am the last level of the assessment." Chapter 71 Crazy Harvest, Talent Fusion, S is rank Gluttonous Demon King. Survival in the Sea, Physical Test, Fire of Will. Forest of Confusion. The Arena of Ice, for the first hunter recruitment, there are 5 checkpoints. Buggy, Kuina, Crow, Luwell, and Leno are the examiners respectively. Open black lens bracket Fire will close black lens bracket, it needs to be after physical test. Enter a small island full of lava and flames, and pass through a 5,000-meter canyon. That's a narrow path, on both sides are hot magma. Few can stand it. After the test of reaching the limit of the body, it is another beating of the will, and most people will choose to shrink back. Many people, who came to participate in the hunter assessment, did not really want to join, and more people came to join in the fun. After all, the Hunters Guild is so popular, they have participated in the assessment, gained some knowledge, and can brag about it to the villagers when they go back. Some are betting with friends, or want to prove themselves. The first level and the second level are not difficult. But the third hurdle is a roadblock. The road covered with hot lava is like thorns, not everyone has the courage to walk. At least, you must have the awareness, this is no joke. If you can pass the third level, you will enter open black lens bracket Forest of Confusion close black lens bracket. The foggy forest is full of cobwebs. In the exact same environment, it is very easy to get lost. It takes a certain amount of wisdom to solve the puzzles when you come out. If you can pass the first 4 levels, congratulations, you will face the final big boss, open black lens bracket Ice Arena close black lens bracket. Swipe swipe. 3 figures, one in front and one behind, rushed out of the forest. Luchi, Kaku, Terega. They raised their heads, and an iceberg surrounded by strong winds stood in front of them. The iceberg is 1,000 meters high. The ice surface is vertical and smooth as a mirror. Inside, you can still see the original appearance of the mountain before it was frozen. Kuzan's ability? Luchi thought to himself. Congratulations, you're here. The 3 turned their heads. On the raised sharp stone stood a man in a black windbreaker, looking at them with a smile, with 2 knives at his waist. Hee ha ha ha, Toria laughed and asked playfully, Hunter Guild, President Nuo, are you the examiner of the last test? He said it. 20 the right hand suddenly raised, and a chain hit Leno. The swinging iron chain is like a snake, which can easily crush rocks. Only, with a flick of Leno's hand, the iron chain was bounced away by him, and Toria also flew out with the iron chain and fell onto the water. Luchi and Kaku narrowed their eyes at the same time. So strong, Toria, who owns devil fruit, is not bad. Luchi thinks he can win, but it will not be so easy. Absolutely, not an order of magnitude. Luchi and Kaku looked at each other, trying to keep their minds inactive to avoid being sensed by Leno. I'm an examiner, do you have any objections? Leno asked. Toria struggled to get up, bowed his head and said, no. There was deep fear in his eyes, and he closed his mouth. Leno said, the last level, if you climb up with bare hands, you will pass the level. As a reward for passing the level, you can challenge me. Plus, there is no time limit, that is to say, as long as you climb to the top within the assessment period, you can go back to rest and come back tomorrow if you can't do it today. Luchi looked at the iceberg and frowned, it sounds simple. However, judging from this assessment, each level is more difficult than the next. This iceberg is not so easy, can you use devil fruit's power? Luchi asked. Can? Leno said. Unarmed means to use your own strength, and devil fruit is also included. Oh, Toria breathed out, the iron chain in his hand cracked, and said, I'll start first. His iron chain wraps his fists and toes, then, his chains swung out. With a bang, an ice groove was smashed out. Follow the same pattern. He started to climb up like a spider. Follow him? Kaku looked at the groove left by Toria after climbing over. He stepped forward, put his hands on the ice, it was bitingly cold, but he still climbed up. CP9 has been trained much harder than this. Luchi was not in a hurry. He noticed that starting from the first level, there were some traps, hints, and shortcuts in the first 4 levels of assessment. Each level will let them make their own choices. What is the choice at this level? Luchi circled the iceberg first, and found that the front they were facing was the most difficult to climb. Front, most vertical and smoothest. The 2 sides are vertical, but some depressions and protrusions can be seen. The back is smooth, but has a slight slope. Really? It's absolutely impossible to go to the front. Even if there is a choice, it will be very difficult. Otherwise, we won't be given so much time. The seemingly simple iceberg requires careful observation and thinking to find the most suitable path. Luchi narrowed his eyes and carefully observed the 2 sides. He is sure that there will be differences between the 2 sides. Certainly, there is a certain path on the side that is the best choice. Did you find it? Leno glanced at Luchi and watched him start to walk back and forth on the 2 sides, knowing that he realized the key. As expected of the elite of CP9, what should I do with you? Suddenly, Leno had an idea. Undercover, isn't it infernal affairs? As if no one would. While Luchi was observing, Toreha rushed up to 300 meters in one breath, and was about to pass a third of the distance, and he could see the appearance of the summit. But when he came to this height, he was already out of breath, the chill and wind were soaking into his body, and his hair and lips were frozen. What happened? Breathing, harder than usual. Your body is more tired than normal. Toreha took a deep breath, his iron chain hit the ice in front of him, and his experience was much smaller than before. The hardness of the ice surface has not changed, but now he needs 2 attacks to be effective. Climbed another 100 meters. Toreha's supporting hand began to tremble. The waving chain was weak. Physical exhaustion, accelerating? Not far below him. Kaku was silent, thinking in his mind, not only Toreha, but he also discovered that his physical strength and breathing were abnormal. He glanced at the wind around the iceberg, suddenly. He thought, it's oxygen. The higher you go, the thinner the oxygen, and the surrounding wind takes away the oxygen, and you will feel more tired than usual. When you lack oxygen, people will become weak, but with demon fruit power, using devil fruit, the physical exertion is doubled. Devil fruit's ability is not unlimited, and physical strength has a huge impact on its power and duration. When Kaku thought about it, he saw Toreha and fell from above. Under the iceberg. Ding! You beat your opponent. Scan to talents. Iron Chain, Level A, Gem Appreciation, Level A, Twisting Power, Level A, Greed, Level B, Boxing, Level C, Leg Skills, Level D, Close Black Lens Bracket. Falling with Toreha. A system prompt sounds. Essentially, this is also a showdown. Leno slowed down Toreha's slide while using Royal Wind, while checking the prompts. Open Black Lens Bracket. Please host choose a talent as soon as possible. Close Black Lens Bracket. 3A level talents? Choose Open Black Lens Bracket. Strength of Stranding. Close Black Lens Bracket. Ding! Congratulations to the host for duplicating the talent, the power of twisting. Talent introduction. A way to manipulate power, like a rope, strangling the enemy. Close Black Lens Bracket. Open Black Lens Bracket. Strength. Grade A. Close Black Lens Bracket. Leno did not choose Open Black Lens Bracket. Iron Chain. Close Black Lens Bracket. Instead, choose a jigsaw puzzle talent of Lord of Gluttony. Ding! It is detected that the host has similar talents: Lord of Gluttony, Return of Life, Power of Cat, Speed of Cat, Bloodline of Moonlion, Samahata, Power of Twist. Please look for more similar talents, and integrate them. Close Black Lens Bracket. Leno has a hunch that a few more will make Open Black Lens Bracket Gluttony Lord Close Black Lens Bracket evolve. Toreha just hit the ground. Kaku immediately fell. He wanted to tell Luchi what he found. Ding! You defeated the opponent and scanned into the unendowed Marine 6 styles. A level, Intelligence Collection. A level, Double Knife Swordsmanship. A level, Bounce, B level, Intelligence Analysis. Old level, Tenacity, Grade B. Kaku's other talents are related to intelligence and are not included in the selection. Open Black Lens Bracket. Please host choose a talent as soon as possible. Close Black Lens Bracket. Choose the Double Knife Swordsmanship. With the rapid increase of Haki, Leno's Kendo is slightly insufficient, and I hope to improve the talent of Kenshin. Ding! Congratulations to the host for copying the talent, Double Knife Swordsmanship. Talent Introduction. Penultimate's Dual Knife Skill. Open Black Lens Bracket. Strength. Grade A. Close Black Lens Bracket. In Leno's mind, the training scene of the double knife style quickly flashed, and he quickly mastered some skills of the double knife style. Ding! It is detected that the host has similar talents, such as Jianshin, Yishinjan, and Double Blade Swordsmanship. Please look for more similar talents and integrate them to improve. Hoo-hoo! Toreha stood up, panting, tired as a dog. Luchi was surprised. With their physique, how tired they are after climbing 400 meters. It shouldn't be. Kaku panted heavily, scratched his head, and said casually. There is no oxygen on the top. The higher you go, the more painful it is. Hypoxia. Luchi suddenly realized that it was so. Then, the distribution of physical strength must be done well. But, the hunter assessment is difficult, right? How many people can pass? Could it be that there is a shortcut? Luchi shook his head, chose aside, and began to climb. His movements are light and dexterous, and he draws the protrusions and depressions of the entire ice surface in his mind from the corner of his eye. The first time it was just a try, he didn't use the Devil Fruit's force zone. Because of Toria, it only reached 400 meters. Are there any other difficulties? Leno crossed his arms. This level, of course, is not that simple. However, there is indeed one, the most correct way. It takes calculations. There is a rule to follow in the seemingly chaotic protrusions and depressions. Of course, if you have enough strength, those skills are just icing on the cake. As the assessment continued, the winners of the following batches came one after another, and they all began to scratch their heads. Van Oka is the person in the latter batch. He looked up at the looming Luchi and observed with the telescope of the sniper rifle. For the first time, Luchi climbed to more than 600 meters and fell down. After landing, his whole body was covered with frost. From 500 meters, the chill will double. Luchi frowned. What else did I not discover? Leno didn't hide his smile. The people who can come here are not bad in talent, but they are much better than a bunch of D and E grades. Effortlessly, harvest talent. Ding! You beat your opponent, scan to talents. Leopard, S level, Marine 6 styles, S level, Intelligence Analysis, S level. Leopard Speed, A level, Life Return, A level, Intelligence Collection, A level, Heart of Darkness, A level. Oh, to become the boss of the CPO in the future, Luchi has great potential? The talent he has unearthed is good? Haven't awakened Haki yet? Open black lens bracket. Please host choose a talent as soon as possible, close black lens bracket. Leno weighed it carefully. If you have S rank, forget it, choose Marine 6 styles. Leno met Marine 6 styles. Before, either the level was too low, or there were better choices. Now, on the other hand, Leno doesn't take much notice of it. Open black lens bracket. Ding, congratulations to host for copying talent, Marine 6 styles, close black lens bracket. Talent introduction. Physical skills beyond the limit of human physical ability, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Strength. S grade, close black lens bracket. Leno closes his eyes. Marine 6 styles is a type of body art in the world of pirates. Including shave, iron body, paper arts, moonwalk, tempest kick, finger pistol 6 moves. Although it takes rigorous training to learn, there are also a few of them who can catch the court after seeing it only once. Like Luffy. Marine 6 styles, except iron body, other moves, high practicability. To be honest, sufficient physique, practice 6 styles, and pinch with your hands. In Leno's consciousness, various techniques of 6 styles, as well as advanced techniques, such as flying finger pistol, 6 styles, etc., are displayed one by one. The upper limit of these skills is S rank. Luchi has indeed practiced the 6 forms to the existing ultimate. Leno absorbed them all. Ding! Your life return talent level has increased, and the current strength is A level. Okay. Leno was pleasantly surprised. After learning the 6 moves of S rank, the intensity of life return increased by 600 again? Indeed. There is a certain connection between the 6 forms and the return of life. Leno's surprise is not over yet. Van Oka, who started to try to climb, soon fell. Ding! You beat your opponent, scan to talents. Sniper Grandmaster, S level, Atokoshi I, S level. Fork of Fate, A level, Firearms Grandmaster, A level, Rapid Fire, A level, Gunpowder Preparation, Grade B. Van Oka's potential is not bad, and his talent is basically related to sniping. The Eye of Atokoshi, is it vision? In the original plot. Van Oka is on the roof of the west blue shore of Guy Island, shooting the flock of seagulls in the distance. Due to the position of the seagulls, Guy Island can hardly be seen. Usopp, who witnessed the gulls fall, judged it impossible. Unless the sniper's eyesight, gun performance and technology are all top-notch. The same is true. Van Oka's ability to silently kill targets several kilometers away has something to do with his eyes. Open black lens bracket. Please host choose a talent as soon as possible, close black lens bracket. Leno looked at open black lens bracket. Fork of Fate, close black lens bracket. Another talent like Buggy's, swinging strong luck. Leno shook his head. This one is enough. Too swaying, too metaphysical, doesn't suit him. 2 S-level talents, Sniper Grandmaster, Eye of Atokoshi, without any doubt, choose the latter directly. Open black lens bracket. Ding, congratulations to host for duplicating talent, Eye of Atokoshi, close black lens bracket. Talent introduction. Dynamic vision beyond the speed of sound, can easily capture the trajectory of birds several kilometers away, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Strength, S grade, close black lens bracket. Leno was pleasantly surprised. Dynamic vision beyond the speed of sound. This talent is amazing. It means that without observation Haki, you can easily see the battle zone of those strong players who are good at high-speed movement. Moving beyond the speed of sound is not something anyone can do. Next, those who came to the 5th level kept trying. Contributed several talents to Leno. A level, Savage Madness. A level, Bear Power. A level, Strong Muscle. B level, high jump, B level, quickness. They are all puzzle pieces of the King of Gluttony. Ding! It is detected that the host has similar talents: Lord of Gluttony, Return of Life, Power of Cat, Speed of Cat, Bloodline of Moonlion, Shark Muscle, Power of Twist, Eye of Itokoshi, Barbaric Madness, Power of Bear, Strong Muscle, High Jump, Swiftness. Are they integrated? Okay. The system's prompt again made Leno grin. Finally. Enough is enough. Leno didn't hesitate. Choose fusion. With Leno's mind, a mysterious light illuminates on the system panel. Talented one by one, attracted, fell into Uzumaki one by one, and began to rotate slowly, turning faster and faster. Finally, Lord of Gluttony will merge from S rank with many body-related talents to become SS rank. What talent would it be? Leno looked forward to it. The light of the system is like a rotating galaxy. Talent is forged in it. It didn't make Leno wait too long. Open black lens bracket ding. The fusion is successful. Congratulations to host for getting the talent. Gluttonous Demon King, SS level, close black lens bracket. Chapter 72 Execution of Beasts. Kaido. Battle to the top of the red line. New world. Boom. Within 10,000 meters, dark clouds gathered and thunder and lightning flashed. A huge prison ship is floating on the sea, surrounded by marine warships, all of which are ready for battle. Thunderbolt. The thunder flashed past, illuminating the monsters on the prison ship who were being imprisoned under the huge guillotine. One of the 4 emperors, beasts, Kaido, late May. Because of Kuzan's resignation, Kaido left Wano Kuni, was captured by Marine, and offered an olive branch to Kuzan. But Kuzan didn't appreciate it, and Kaido's kindness turned into a wrong love. Now, he is about to be executed. It can be described as miserable. The face has been tied up. The shackles and handcuffs are all Seastone's Kaido, the executioners and Marine, but they dare not neglect in the slightest. Because he is Kaido, the strongest creature in the world. Even if you don't count Devil Fruit, his physique, Haki, has reached world class, especially his strong physique. The supervising officer in charge of this execution is Admiral Sengoku. He holds Kaido's resume. Kaido of the Beasts, from the Kingdom of Volca. I used to be an apprentice pirate of the Rocks Pirates. After the disbandment of the Rocks Pirates, the strength has not declined but has risen. Only by virtue of their own strong strength, many pirates have surrendered. As a pirate, I was defeated 9 times. Alone, when challenging Marine and 4 emperors, got arrested 14 times. He was tortured more than 1,000 times, sentenced to death 30 times. Even if you are hanged, you will break the chain. Even if you are put on the guillotine, you can smash the guillotine. Even if you are stabbed by a spear, it will end with the break of the spear. He has sunk as many as 7 huge prison ships, and no one has ever been able to kill him, not even himself. Quite wonderful. Each of the above resumes is a death-defying adventure of the fun-loving Kaido. Sengoku's face darkened. Every failed execution by Kaido is a humiliation to Marine's majesty. It's just that this guy is really hard to kill. I heard that those in the execution department even proposed to give Kaido a second devil fruit. Use the power of devil fruit to kill him, but it was rejected immediately. Indeed. Nobody can eat 2 devil fruits. The conflict between the 2 forces will cause the body to burst instantly. This does have a chance to kill Kaido. What if? What if 2 devil fruits are not enough to kill Kaido, but give him a second powerful power? A Kaido of devil fruit is hard to kill. 2. Fly. Take off. Hey. Kaido takes off immediately. Someone said, give Kaido a trash devil fruit. However, devil fruit garbage is sometimes divided among people. With Kaido's existence, gaining an extra power is a terrifying boost for him. No one dared to risk it. In this attempt, Kaido is the cat locked in the box by Schrödinger. Neither the Marine nor the world government is sure if he will live or die. Currently, although Kaido cannot be killed, Marine can still capture him and punish him. Means, Kaido is not invincible. Marine and world government have various means to check and balance him. But if killing him with devil fruit doesn't work, then have fun. An invincible monster with double fruits was created by them, and the whole world was turned upside down. If Garp meets him, he probably has to shout, W, country, D, fight, U, M, horse, D, of. Sengoku Admiral, it's time for execution, the adjutant said. Sengoku put down the documents and looked at the execution platform on the deck of the prison ship, the big strong monster. Just right. Kaido's gaze turned to him, Wororo. Kaido let out a unique laugh. Facing the Marine and the imminent death penalty, he showed no fear at all, but instead had an expression of, come quickly. Sengoku's face was dark, so cheap, he raised his hand and said, punishment. Yes. The executioner in charge of the execution, after saluting, directed the guillotine. The huge guillotine shone coldly in the sunlight. Crash. Following the executioners, the organ was lowered, and the noose of the guillotine was relaxed. Senhan's guillotine fell towards Kaido's neck. The speed is getting faster and faster. Amid countless gazes, the guillotine cut Kaido's neck. When There is no picture of the separation of corpses and splashing of blood and flesh as imagined. Instead, there was a crisp metal strike, and the guillotine fell on Kaido's neck, and a big gap was broken. And with the gap as the center, a series of cracks opened to the surroundings, and finally collapsed. Again, failed again. The executioners and the onlookers couldn't help but feel lost. It's more of a pity. Look, I won again, Kaido, just can't kill him. And Marine, betting on the outcome of this execution. Those who win are happy, and those who lose are gnashing their teeth. Wororo. Kaido laughed. Since you can't kill me, then. Kaido's body stood up slowly, dragging the sea stone shackles that bound him. Incomparably powerful. Pull the entire prison ship askew. When the chains were stretched to the limit, they shattered inch by inch, and even the sea stone shackles were broken by this force. Not good. Sengoku is about to strike. Sengoku Admiral, enemy ship spotted to the left, it's Beast's pirates. The liaison officer's voice just fell. Call out. The sound of the cannonball flying was ear-piercing, and after falling on the nearby sea surface, it exploded loudly, stirring up a huge water column. Distance. A member of the Beast's pirates, Fire Calamity, Jin arrived with his subordinate, Barbarian. Hot interest. Kaido saw Jin. They came, laughed and opened his mouth, and a raging flame spit out from his mouth. Boom. Just one hit. The scorching flames penetrated the deck, tore apart the prison ship, and a raging fire surged up. This power. It is not much less than Mera Mera fruits, Yandy. It can be seen that, when everyone in the new world can play with fire, Mera Mera fruit is so tasteless. No wonder Sakazuki, looked down upon. The liberated Kaido raged on the prison ship, his fierce body was unstoppable, and the people on board fled in panic. Suddenly, a big golden Buddha stretched out a huge palm and pressed it down towards Kaido. Sengoku strikes. Zone, human fruit phantom beast hyphenation point great Buddha form. Kaido turned around, clenched his right fist, grabbed Haki, and slammed into the palm of his hand. Fist. Palm. Before contact, there are already Conqueror's Haki, fighting each other. Boom. With a muffled thunderous sound, it exploded on the sea. With the battle between Sengoku and Kaido as the junction, the clouds in the sky and the seawater on the sea surface are divided towards the front and back. The tumbling waves rolled back and forth wave after wave. Conqueror's collision. Due to the oppression of spirit and momentum, the Marines who were close to each other fainted one after another. Boom. The huge prison ship couldn't bear the collision between the two, it disintegrated and spread out in all directions. The falling Marine and various cries for help made Sengoku frowned. He didn't talk to Kaido, just to the end. Satisfied with his own fun, Kaido also retreated from the phone. He transformed into a dragon. Zone, fish fruit, phantom beast species, blue dragon form. Kaido took off and returned to Jin's boat. Under the cheers of all the little brothers from the 100 Beasts, they left this sea area. Sengoku rescued Marine, watched them leave, and failed to execute Kaido, although regrettable, but not disappointed. Boo boo boo. Sengoku picks up the phone bug from Marshal Kong Kong. How about it? Failed. Well, but it's still in the plan. Kaido's temper will definitely trouble them, Sengoku said. Just, get Kaido out of New World, of course not. 4 emperors, staying in the New World, is the tacit approval of the world government. But never allowed to leave. That would give paradise, and all the seas, a cloud of terror. Shake the foundations of world government rule, once such signs appear. The people from naval headquarters will go out with all their might, chasing and intercepting them. Sengoku's eyes were full of wisdom. However, we can provoke a confrontation between him and Leno. Guonuo will not stay in East Blue forever. They will meet sooner or later, superior. Kaido took the jug and drank most of the gourd's wine freely, letting the wine flow out of the corners of his mouth and wet his body. Boom. He pounded the flagon on the deck, and took the enlarged newspaper that Jin handed over. Is that so? That Kuzan guy shows East Blues, a little guy? Interesting. Kaido looked at the logo of the Hunter Guild. It was a blood-colored black dragon, with its teeth and claws open, with a hideous appearance. He chose another dragon. After Kaido finished speaking, he laughed wildly. Wororo, then, you are my next target. However, Marine, world government, will not allow us to leave New World, Jin reminded wearing a mask. What? Those guys. Kaido clapped his hands. He looked into the distance, and the towering red line, like a high wall, stood majestically, casting a shadow. They isolate the 4 seas, but they are also the fastest shortcuts to the 4 seas. Go, find Morgans, tell him, next month, I'll be at the top of the red line, waiting for Leno and Kuzan. Otherwise I'll jump into East Blue and destroy their island. Battle at the top of the red line. Jin shook his head helplessly at Kaido's willful behavior, and said, that's the territory of the celestial dragons. Kaido may seem rough, but he is calculating and shrewd. Red line, most of them are barren land. Besides, the world government and Marine will not stop it. Sengoku is deliberately letting me go this time. Jin asked strangely, on purpose? Why? Of course, Lien Zan. He and Leno teamed up to slap Marine hard in the face, making Marine a laughingstock. Those guys, how could they let go so easily? Because the world government has a lot of considerations, it didn't deal with Hunter's Guild, so we became knives. Marine wants to use us to deal with Hunter Guild. Kaido grabbed the wine jug, poured the wine into his mouth and kept laughing. Wurrurr. Just what I want. East Blue. Many Maida Islands. Open black lens bracket Hunter Guild close black lens bracket. The assessment is continuing. Leno's Gluttony King talent has finally been integrated and upgraded with S level, Otokoshi's Eye, and many other talents. SS rank open black lens bracket Gluttony Demon King close black lens bracket. Leno opened his eyes. He could feel a warm current stirring in his body, changing every cell in him. Even the eyes were slightly tingling. This upgrade, unlike Haki and others, is a transformation at the physical level, the most intuitive and essential evolution. Talent introduction. Food will become the source of your strength, your physical fitness will increase by 50 times, you have the blood of the Devil King, your boundaries are unlimited, and you will be fearless. Ding! In view of the increase in talent strength this time, the impact on the host's body is too great, and a 30-day evolution period will be obtained. Close black lens bracket. The system's prompt shocked Leno. This talent is really pervert. A 50-fold increase in physical fitness. This kind of increase is all round, from strength, speed and so on. Even the system is afraid of a one-time transformation, and he can't bear it. A daily change of 30 days was chosen. The body is the foundation of everything. There are countless monsters in the pirate world, Kaido's strongest creature, Charlotte Linlin's steel body. There is also the giant strength of the Titan race, and the body of the demon race with a few hundred meters. These are naturally powerful, with bodies that ordinary humans cannot match. Leno's S-level talent, Lord of Gluttony, has allowed him to evolve a little bit, and he has a physique far beyond ordinary people. However, compared with those monsters, there are still some shortcomings. And talent, evolve again, reach SS level, become Gluttony Demon King, just wait for his transformation to complete. Compared with those monsters, it's not too much, right? Leno took a deep breath. He could clearly hear subtle changes taking place inside his body, as if he was singing a song of evolution. Now, only on the first day, Leno can feel that such a direct increase in strength is based on his own growth. What? So, who can climb up? Let's not say it's human, monsters can't do it either. Under the iceberg, after failing again and again, the people who came to participate in the assessment began to complain. Can't you go up? How is it possible to go up? Leno glanced at them, twisted his neck, and said, then, let me show you a demonstration. Hey, you must know the path, right? Someone asked. Shortcut? Leno landed in front of the smooth vertical ice, palms outstretched. Click. He poked a crack in the hard ice, and then climbed up unpretentiously. Ka. Leno didn't use any particularly powerful methods, but his speed was extremely fast, and he quickly passed the 300-meter area. Below, those who were still talking about it all shut their mouths. Luchi folded his arms and squinted his eyes. It's as strong as a monster. He looked at Leno, and quickly arrived at the 600-meter area, where, good, the wind was stronger and the oxygen was extremely thin. It's just that Leno's speed didn't slow down at all. The cold, the wind that held them back had no effect on Leno. Leno climbed to the top smoothly from the front. Give those who complain a slap in the face. It's not that you can't go up. Ingeniously, he began to climb on the traces left by Leno. When they reached a certain height, they found that the wind and snow had already made the traces on them disappear, so they still had to rely on themselves. The suffocating feeling of lack of oxygen, the biting chill. It is a huge test of spirit, physical strength and will. It wasn't until the next day that someone officially climbed to the top from the side. Rob Luchi. Who? He gasped. On the top of the iceberg is a huge ring, reflecting the sunlight. Luchi looked at Leno who was sitting cross-legged on the ice. Leno opened his eyes. Congratulations, you have passed the hunter assessment, you can choose to join or not. Luchi took a deep breath, and the oxygen at the top returned to normal, calming down the physical fatigue caused by the lack of oxygen. I want to challenge you, Luchi said. Okay, Leno said. Luchi's body began to swell, and he used devil fruit, zone cat fruit leopard form. Brush. Luchi rushed forward sharply, raising his knee and bumping into Leno. He didn't use the 6 forms, that's too obvious, but the pure fruit power is also very powerful. Too slow. Before Luchi arrived, Leno blocked his knee with his hand, as if he had anticipated Luchi's attack. He didn't use observation Haki, but relied on his eyes to capture Luchi's trajectory. Dynamic vision beyond the speed of sound. Any move will have a trajectory. After the shot is made, it will be driven by the inertia of power, so it is difficult to change it. So the defender, the regiment dodges away. The moment Leno blocked Luchi's knee, he grabbed his ankle, then dragged him and smashed him hard to the ice. Boom! In violent power, the ice cracked and a pit appeared. After Luchi vomited blood, he fell into a coma. Instant kill with one move. Chapter 73 Kaido vs Leno. A war that will shock the world. Ice arena. With one move, CP9 was defeated by Leno for the first time in 800 years, and fell into a coma. Unconsciously, he removed Devil Fruit's transformation status. His transformation is somewhat similar to Crow's. But more is different. Crow's is an ancient species, in the form of a giant cheetah. Open black lens bracket giant cheetah close black lens bracket. In terms of strength, the explosion is stronger. In terms of pure speed, it is slightly inferior to leopard form. Zone Devil Fruit. There are phantom beast species, ancient species, and common species, and the existence of the former two is even rarer. However, scarcity does not mean that it must be strong, it is still related to personal development. Get a phantom beast. If you don't develop it, that's it. Cuckoo, cluck. The white pigeon, Hadwoli, who followed Luchi panicked and landed on Luchi's face, trying to wake him up. Leno didn't get up. Sitting cross-legged, he floated above Luchi. Open black lens bracket royal wind close black lens bracket. The invisible wind supported him. Cuckoo. Hidori flew up and tried to stop Leno. Leno reached out and grabbed it easily. He has super dynamic vision. Dynamic vision refers to the eyes capturing images, decomposing them, and perceiving images of moving objects when the eyes observe moving objects. This is accompanied by dynamic vision, image capture, brain information processing in a short period of time, and the body's corresponding reaction process. For example, cats have dynamic vision several times that of humans, and the extremely fast pounces of snakes will be extremely slow in their eyes. Therefore, Leno can still achieve a similar reaction even if he doesn't use knowledge. Leno's eyes fell. Conqueror's Haki is released, and Dove Hidori faints. He pulled out the demon sword, Muramasa, then, he slashed Luchi's heart. A drop of blood spilled. Infection, talent, releases wisps of strange red light, which complements Muramasa's blade like a blood diamond. The blood that fell into Luchi's heart quickly spread and merged into his body, and the cut wound healed slowly. An invisible perception, connected with Yi Nuo through the demon sword open black lens bracket Muramasa close black lens bracket. Infection, talent, derived from the demon sword, Muramasa. It has both physical and psychological effects. As Leno's strength grows further, under his will, the control over infected people will be stronger. Obviously, this is a way to deal with undercover agents. Through open black lens bracket infection close black lens bracket, turn the other party into one of your own. Leno closes his eyes. In a blur, he saw pictures one after another, like silent vinyl films, which were some of Luchi's past experiences. Train, kill, kill. Dark World 933. Observation Haki, who has reached the SS level, combined with the infection talent, endowed Leno with the ability to peep into memory. He even saw Spandam, the explanation to Luchi and the others, the purpose of sneaking into the Hunters Guild, etc. Talents are not independent, but can influence and entangle each other to form new abilities. Leno opened his eyes, and the peek at Luchi's memory just now is his new attempt at observation Haki. Different talents can be matched with each other, just like the moves of slashing, chopping, and stabbing in swordsmanship, they can form different schools. My talent, in fact, still has a lot of places to be tapped, and the combination of various talents, there will be some rewards. Since coming to One Piece World, Leno has never given up training himself, even though he has acquired various powerful talents. He is very clear that if many talents are not exercised, it is a huge waste, and they are always used at the lowest level. It's like getting devil fruit without developing it, explosive fruit, kilo fruit, mara fruit, etc. are disappointing. Leno opens the system panel. Open black lens bracket host name. Leno close black lens bracket open black lens bracket real age, 18 years old close black lens bracket. Battle talent. Armament Haki, SSS level. Gluttonous Demon King, SS level. Yufeng, SS level. Freezing, SS level. Observation Haki, SS level. Conqueror's Haki, S level. Kenshin, S level. Marine 6 styles, level S. 1 Heart Sword, level A. Double Blade Swordsmanship, level A. Murloc Karate, level B. Auxiliary talents. Sense of Music, SSS level. Swinging Strong Luck, SS level. Pianist, SS level. Craftsman Soul, S level. Infection, S level. Underwater Breathing, D level. Gambling, level D. Shipwright, level D. Strength Evaluation. You must have a top spot in the Palace of Vice Admiral, with top-level armament Haki, Gluttonous Demon King, Heart of Swordsmanship, Triple Return to 1, Master Composer, Unlimited Potential, and Outstanding Memory, but the real strong need blood grind with fire. Let's evolve, young man. The unruly wind and the ice of winter bless you, the future is yours. There are new changes in the system interface, some talent, gone. Fused by open black lens bracket Gluttony Demon King close black lens bracket. At the same time, the subdivision of talents has the distinction of combat talents and auxiliary talents. Leno shook his fist. Full of power. After 30 days of evolution, is it enough to defeat Garp? Leno thought. Because Garp is Vice Admiral, so his strength evaluation is stuck in the ranks of Vice Admiral. Only by defeating the strongest Vice Admiral Garp can you be promoted. Boo boo boo. Okay. Leno pulled out a small phone bug. Morgan's gloating voice came from the phone bug's mouth. President Leno, you are in big trouble, KBC. Oh? Leno raised his eyebrows. Big trouble? Yes, for trouble? Morgan said triumphantly. Do you know 4 emperors? Of course, the 4 One Piece of New World, Leno said. Morgan said. Just now, one of the 4 emperors, the chief cadre of the Beast's pirates, Jin, contacted me. Really? Your communication is really extensive, even the 4 emperors can be contacted. Of course, how do you get big news without any communication? Morgans proudly said. Let's put it this way, as long as there are famous people in the world, I, Morgans, will have contacts. Awesome. As expected of the social butterfly of the pirate world. Leno asked. So, what did Kaido contact you for? Morgans didn't hold back. Kaido of the Beasts wants to send you a letter of challenge through me, and wait for you at the top of the red line in a month's time. Is Kaido dating? Yes. Goohahaha, that guy is a battle madman. If you don't fight, he will come to East Blue. Leno frowned and said, there seems to be no conflict between me and him? Who knows? Morgan said, Kaido, you can't be seen by ordinary people, he is crazy, he is a headache guy. Judging from the fact that he often challenged Marine and 4 emperors by himself, it is understandable that you are being targeted by him. You have been in the limelight recently, and you have accepted Kuzan, shouldn't he be very upset? And your flag? Based on that, it will be a matter of time before he comes to trouble you, it's just that I didn't expect it to be so early. How? Are you going to fight? Morgans now has nothing to do with himself, hangs high, and has a mentality of watching a good show. Whether Leno should fight or not, he has news to write about. Great journalist. Start with a picture, the content depends entirely on editing. Kaido. Leno smiled brightly and said, why not? Is it the strongest creature in the world? I really want to try it too. Goohahaha, you're so fearless, but, I love it, that's big news, Morgans laughed. Leno said. Kaido has decided on the location, then the time, I will decide, tell Kaido, next month's full moon day. Okay. Morgans hung up the phone and went to contact the Beast's pirates. Leno smiled mischievously. On the day of the full moon, the top of the red line? Is it the pirate version of Peerless War? From now to the 15th of next month, there are still more than 40 days. Open black lens bracket Gluttony Demon King close black lens bracket the talent transformation is completed, and there is still some time to adapt its power, which is enough to fight Kaido. Leno examines his panel. Assess the strengths, weaknesses, and Kaido battles. Kaido's combat power should not be underestimated. The strongest creature in the world is not in vain. He looks reckless, and has a rough appearance, but he is actually very shrewd and resourceful. He conspired to seize Wano-kuni, outsmarted the evil generation, cherished talents, recruited powerful combat forces everywhere, and expanded his armaments. It can be said that it has won the essence of building walls high and accumulating grain widely. Luffy and the others, if they hadn't kept hanging and relying on numbers to consume Kaido, the final victory would have been hard to predict. Of course, Kaido is not invincible, he advocates personal bravery too much, and often rushes to fight the enemy by himself. These characteristics, on the contrary, were the reasons for his defeat. Overall, Kaido is definitely a formidable foe. Leno frowned suddenly. My current Conqueror's Haki will be at a disadvantage against Kaido. After the battle with Kuzan, Leno found out, the powerhouses in One Piece world are quite capable of seizing opportunities. As long as you have a slight weakness, short board will definitely be targeted. I must find a way to raise my Conqueror's Haki to a higher level within this month. In Leno's mind, he searched for the strong man of Conquerors. Sengoku, Charlotte Linlin, Whitebeard, Blackbeard, Bullet. Leno squinted. Quickly locked a person, New World. The sky was still clear just now, and in a blink of an eye, it was snowing heavily. Harsh environment. Exercised the physique of New World residents. Flame calamity. Jin, who was burning with flames, put down the phone bug, and looked at Kaido, who was drinking with the barbarians. Kaido's character is very complicated, a typical, fun person. What does that mean? Just capricious. Sometimes weeping, sometimes furious, sometimes easygoing, informal, and sometimes quite tyrannical, advocating violence. He often thinks that the world is boring and ruins the best. That's right, he was just bored. So boring, I can only have fun for myself, looking for someone to beat me everywhere. Morgan said that there is an agreement, the location will not change, and the time will be set on the 15th day of the next month, when the moon is full. Jin said indifferently, however, I don't think I can defeat that person without a governor. Wororo. Kaido put down the jug, laughed loudly, and said, Jin, this is my battle, and the winner must be decided in an open and honest manner. When a war that is about to shock the world is brewing. Jumeda Islands. The Hunter Guild assessment is in full swing. Amid the stimulation of pain, Luchi opened his eyes, instinctively scanning the surrounding environment vigilantly. This is a ward. He sat up and rubbed his forehead, feeling a sharp pain like a burst. Hunter assessment. Well, I lost. Some memories come flooding back. Luchi took a deep breath and exhaled. That dish Nuo Neng defeated Kuzan, he was indeed very strong, Even if he used the 6 forms, he was still no match. You're awake? Kaku sat on a chair, peeling an apple with a knife. What time is it now? How long have I been in a coma? Luchi frowned. Kaku said, 7 days. Today is the last day of the hunter assessment. So long? Luchi was surprised. Was he injured that badly? Kaku said, you have been having a fever, and the doctor said it was caused by a cold. Luchi shook his head and said, strange, I feel good. He got out of bed, squinted his eyes slightly, poured his will, and used life return to feel the specific situation of his body. His strength, speed, etc. There seems to be a slight improvement. Incredible. Could it be that the power of devil fruit is stimulated, and the abnormality will appear? Luchi guessed in his heart. Devil fruit, because of the most magical power zone on the sea. What everyone gets is different. There are all kinds of strange things, and it's not surprising. Luchi shook his head. Don't think about this kind of thing. The improvement of strength can't be a bad thing, right? He looked at Kaku and said, where's Khalifa? Passed. Kaku said, we have all obtained the qualifications of alternate hunters. After the 6-month inspection period, hunter licenses will be issued. By the way, there will be a celebration in town tonight. In the next 7 days, we will conduct a hunter training in the town, learning the rules of the hunter guild and so on. However, when you fell asleep, something big happened. What's the big deal? Kaido has a date with Leno, the leader of the hunter, and the two will have a duel on the red line. Okay. Luchi's eyes widened, and he, who was always calm, was not so calm now. When? The 15th day of the next month, when the moon is full. Luchi was shocked, and said, World government, Marine, won't you stop it? Kaku put the peeled apple into his mouth, took a bite, and said, I don't know, there is no movement. Luchi was quick-witted, and immediately said, they're watching. Kaku just ate the apple and didn't answer. Luchi glanced at the setting sun outside, and said, it's time to go to the celebration. Cuckoo. The white pigeon Hidori on the windowsill flew to Luchi's shoulder. 7 days have passed. Morgan's newspaper has published the match between Kaido and Leno in newspapers and published it all over the world. Like he said, this is big news. Edward Newgate is sitting on the huge Moby Dick, the flagship of the Whitebeard pirates. Margao, Joes, Beasta and others sat around. It's unbelievable, a guy from East Blue dares to agree to a duel with Kaido? Margao shook his head. Yeah, Kaido is not something ordinary people can deal with. The Whitebeard pirates have had several conflicts with Kaido of the Beasts, and have a clear understanding of Kaido's pervert. Of course, in several conflicts, Kaido did not win once, either lost, or did not fight again for various reasons. However, what Kaido lost was the one-on-one fight in which he ran up and challenged Whitebeard's entire group alone. His kind of madness is a headache. No matter who is in front of you, give him a stick first, and then beat him if you catch him. In the entire sea, who can deal with that guy one-on-one? Only Lao Jie, Garp, and Sengoku. Oh, there is another one, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, the Unfathomable Dragon. The others seem to be a little bit off. The captains of the Whitebeard ship, you talk to each other, and you don't think much of Leno. Even, he beat Vice Admiral Kuzan. Vice Admiral is always Admiral. Not everyone is a Garp, that's an exception. Gu la la la. Edward Newgate laughed heartily, and said, no matter what, the guy with full courage deserves respect. Toto Land Kingdom, Cake Island. Kaido, you actually want to fight a kid from East Blue, what's so special about that kid? Charlotte Linlin speaks to Kaido, in the Four Emperors Regiment. The relationship between Kaido and Charlotte Linlin is the best. In private, they have contacts with each other, which can be regarded as a care. Special? Kaido said. Nothing special, just interested, want to see, let Kuzan choose someone? Oh, Charlotte Linlin's eyes flickered, and said, is it really just like this? You want to recruit the Hunter Guild? The seas of the last 4 emperors. The ships of the Red Hair pirates drifted with the tide. Several battles left open black lens bracket red force close black lens bracket replete with scars. At this point, Shanks and the crew looked at each other. Kaido versus Leno? That guy, isn't he too messy? I really think that if I dominate East Blue, I dare to challenge the Emperor of New World. Yasop scratched his head. Even Beckman, who has always been rational, didn't know what to say. Chapter 74 Nico Robin, welcome to the Hunter Guild. East Blue, under the setting sun, the sea sparkled. Kesha Town. After 7 days of assessment, the first batch of people who participated in the Hunter assessment and passed gathered in the town square. Including the logistics team, a total of 27 people became alternate hunters. Yes. A total of more than 2,000 people participated in the Hunter assessment, and only 27 people passed the test smoothly. This elimination ratio can be described as 1 in 100. The stage set up in the square. Leno, Buggy, Kuina and other examiners attended, congratulated them personally, and issued them provisional licenses. Congratulations, in the next 6 months, you will enter the study, examination and period. During this period, if anyone violates the purpose and rules of the Hunters Guild, or anyone who doesn't want to stay, will be allowed to leave. Leno came to the stage and gave a speech. it is nothing more than reaffirming the spirit and purpose of the hunter. Encourage those who didn't pass, come back next year. He has a friendly smile and contagious words, making people on and off the stage feel like a spring breeze and feel admiration in their hearts. After the speech, with the reverberation of enthusiastic music, the sound of singing sounded like sounds of nature. I only believe in the future, who cares about the cynicism of others? Your passion is what makes you so special, singing. Uda's figure rose slowly and stood on the stage, facing the crowd of audience in the audience. She smiled. She is very happy to be able to sing to so many people. Who is she? Excellent, very nice singing voice. So cute. The hunters on the stage and the spectators off the stage were all attracted by Uda. The power of Gurgur fruit endowed her with a beautiful singing voice and talent, making her voice seem to be out of this dimension. That unique dream figure, keep chasing, keep chasing. Awaken the burning heart at dawn. Kuzan stood beside Leno, looked at Uda, and said, her singing has the power to inspire people. Leno appreciated it, and said, yes, if there is the last piece of pure land in the world, it must be music. Uda seemed to have heard Leno's words and looked at him. Leno smiled and nodded at her. Thumbs up, give her encouragement. Originally Kuzan was in charge of Elegia, but after hearing that Leno promised to fight Kaido, he rushed over. Leno simply asked him to bring Uda so that everyone could hear her singing. He still remembers the words left in the stone statue that sealed the demon of songs. Happy singing voice, it can weaken open black lens bracket taught music a garden. Are you sure about the battle with Kaido? Kuzan asked. He could vaguely feel that Leno was stronger than when he fought against him. Intuitive from observation Haki, but this time the opponent is by no means simple. I'll know after calling, Leno said. Kuzan nodded, and exchanged glances with a short-haired girl among the candidate hunters on the stage. The other party panicked and looked away. Okay? Kuzan was slightly surprised and surprised. What? Leno asked. Kuzan withdrew his gaze and said, it's nothing, it seems that I saw an acquaintance, probably, admit it. Oh, acquaintance? Leno glanced at the short-haired girl. The other party seemed calm, but the rapid heartbeat exposed her. She definitely knows Kuzan. In the emotion, there is also fear. Leno's memory, dig out her registration information. Orovia, from the town of Rog, an orphan, a botanist, passed the assessment of the logistics team and was found qualified. The assessment of the logistics team is mainly based on professional knowledge, such as doctors examine medical skills, scholars examine knowledge, and shipwrights examine boathouses. Leno was handed over to Luwell, Gordon, and several industry professionals from the kingdom of Oiked to take charge. It seems simple, but the pass rate is lower than the normal assessment. Orovia? Leno searches memory, related to Kuzan? Suddenly, a person flashed by. Leno probably guessed who she is. Devil's son, Nico Robin, her mother, is Nicole Orovia. In the Ohara incident, Kuzan killed her partner Titan Vice Admiral Saul, leaving a psychological shadow. Strangeness. Isn't she in West Blue? How did you get to East Blue? Could it be because of Kuzan? Leno thought about it. It seems that the change of Kuzan's line affected some of Robin's decisions. Interesting. Leno laughed and looked at Uda. Motivate yourself forward with eagerness. No more muddling along, live peacefully every day. After the singing fell, Uda waved his hands and said happily, I am Uda, thank you everyone. Uda. 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 Shish. The fireworks rushed into the sky, blooming beautifully. The first hunter assessment officially ended, and the carnival and celebration at night began with the fireworks. Uda came down and asked happily, Leno, do I sing well? Well, that sounds good. Uda will definitely become the #1 singer in the world in the future. Leno applauded and praised. Uda nodded with a smile. Call out. Boom. A 4-foot jade firework suddenly bloomed, causing many people to exclaim. Wow, what a beautiful fireworks, Sister Kuina, let's watch the fireworks. Okay. Uda's popularity is very good, even Kuina, who has a cold personality, has a good relationship with her. It's finally over, you can sleep well tonight. Luwell yawned and stretched lazily, revealing her eye-catching waistline and superb figure. Crow gently pushed down his glasses and said, the pass rate of hunters in the first assessment is lower than expected. Not surprisingly, Leno said. Raising the threshold is not a bad thing. The value of an industry lies in its rarity. These people at the beginning will be role models for the latecomers, so they need to be stricter and let go later. Luwell turned to them speechlessly and said, you're a workaholic, forget it, I'm going to rest. Remember me? I am, Lord Buggy, in the crowd. Buggy is showing off. Leno watched with a smile. Open black lens bracket Hunters Guild close black lens bracket start on the right track from today. It's worth celebrating. He turned his head. Where's Kuzan? Well, don't care about him, Chloe, let's go drink and celebrate, tonight. In the town, a dark alley. The fireworks in full bloom illuminate Robin's face. She put her hands on her legs and couldn't help shaking. That guy, really, left Marine. Why? Robin's memory. Once again, I was pulled back to that day by the explosion of fireworks. The day Ohara was destroyed, For her, it was a tragic and indelible past. And Kuzan. In that dark memory, she was one of the people she feared and hated the most. Leave. Get away from here. Robin began to regret why he insisted on confirming this matter and exposed himself to Kuzan. Call. It seemed that with a feeling of emotion and a sigh, he passed the alley, and the scared Robin suddenly became stiff. She raised her head and looked towards the entrance of the alley. The tall figure was leaning against the wall, exhaling cold mist from his mouth, reflecting the fireworks outside, showing his stern face. It really is you. Kuzan put his hands in his pockets and said slowly, Nico Robin. Kuzan. Robin gritted his teeth and said, are you here to catch me? Catch you? Why? Robin stared at him. Facing Kuzan again, she has mixed feelings. Back then, he killed Saul. It was also he who let himself die. She still remembers Kuzan's words clearly. You are free to hate whoever you want, but you should be glad that you have saved your life, and try to live as hard as possible in the future, and you have to remember, I am not your friend, but after you do bad things, be the first to catch you. Kuzan seemed to have a memory too. He picked his ear and said, I'm not a Marine anymore. Then, why did you leave Marine? Robin pinched his fingers and asked through gritted teeth. That's my business, but you, what are you doing in East Blue when you're not with those gangsters in West Blue? Kuzan asked back. Robin also said coldly, that's my business, it has nothing to do with you. Oh, you're more courageous than before. Seeing her turn around, Kuzan walked to the other side of the alley and said calmly, do you want to run away? Robin paused, then walked on. Go faster and faster. She wanted to flee, to hide from fear. That's how she survived at West Blue. Kuzan's voice came from the other end with the cold wind. If you want to stay, go to Leno and confess to him, maybe he will bring you some hope. Robin ran all the way to the beach, and the fear in his heart dissipated a little. She looks up. There are also people celebrating at the seaside. Dancing around the campfire. The boats at the pier will not sail out until tomorrow. She came to a secluded corner, sat down against a stone, put her hands on her knees, and waited for the dawn. Want to drink? Okay. Robin, who was immersed in himself, was startled, and looked up, only to find a woman sitting behind the stone. Hold, sorry, I didn't know there was anyone here. Don't be sorry, here, it's a nice place to be alone, isn't it? Okay. If you have something on your mind, have a drink, maybe it will be better. A bottle of beer fell in front of Robin. Robin looked up, and it turned out to be the examiner Luwell. She came to sit next to Robin, and looked at the lively crowd in the distance. I remember you, Orovia, right? Luwell said, okay. Robin nodded guiltily. Luwell smiled and said, come on, tea and cup. Infected by her smile, Robin breathed a sigh of relief, picked up the wine bottle, touched Luwell, and took a sip. The sea breeze was blowing, the two sat quietly, neither of them spoke. After a while, Robin looked at her secretly, thought for a while, and asked, what's on your mind? Luwell smiled and said, I'm a little worried. Worry? Luwell said, have you heard about it? The battle between Leno and Kaido. That guy is so self-willed. Well, I heard that Kaido, one of the New World 4 emperors, is known as the strongest creature in the world. Zero looking for flowers. Huh? Yeah, that's a monster? Luwell scratched her head and said, can defeat Kuzan, who has already surprised us, can beat Kaido? Who knows? Robin took a sip of his wine and asked curiously, hey, President Leno, did he really win against Kuzan? Oh, I won. Luwell's eyes sparkled, and she said, you don't know, they fought Yoruichi all morning, we were worried to death, in the end, Leno still won, when Kuzan fell into the sea. Really breathed a sigh of relief, Luwell smiled and drank. Thinking about it, it's unbelievable that the person we follow is such a powerful existence. A year ago, I was still hanging around on the street. Who would have thought that I have a completely different life now? Kuina is a simple little girl, and Chloe, don't look at him serious now, but he was a cunning liar before. Buggy, circus clown, and then, all of a sudden, we followed him into a whole new world. Really, it's like dreaming. Luwell sighed. Robin heard admiration from her words. Really? Looking back, what did Leno do this year, which one is not jaw-dropping and shocked the world? Like the sun, he was born out of nowhere, with dazzling rays of light. Robin couldn't help being curious, and said, President, what kind of person is he? What kind of person? Luwell looked up at the stars in the sky, searched for a while, and said, look, that star that will never change. Morning star. Right, oh Leno, to me, it's like the eternally shining morning star. In the sea covered with mist, it is always on, guiding, bringing hope, so that I can keep moving forward. Robin looked up at the star. Hopefully. Kuzan's words flashed in her ear. Luwell said, well, hope. Luwell looked at the starry sky. So, I trust him, Kaido? Leno will definitely defeat Kaido? Luwell shouted firmly. Robin looked at her, is she really worried? But still choose to believe. What kind of charm does that man have that made Luwell and Kuzan pin their hopes on him? Robin looked towards the pier, a hesitation flickering in his eyes. After drinking, Luel hugged Robin, hiccuped, and said, "Hey, do you believe it?" Believe it, Luel said loudly. Robin. This woman, drunk? Too fast? She just drank a bottle, right? In desperation, Robin helped her, went back to the town, and found Kuina and Uda who were playing fireworks. Facing the drunk Luel, Kuina put her hand on her forehead. When Luel is drunk, only Leno can make her quiet, not even Uda's singing. Uda nodded seriously. Leno has magic. Magic? They found Leno and Chloe who were drinking together. This woman thought she was really resting. Leno supported Luel. Sure enough, the noisy Luel became quiet all of a sudden, falling asleep faster than a cat. In the house. Leno put Luel on the bed, covered her with the quilt, and let her sleep peacefully. Watch Leno come out. Robin looked away curiously. Leno looked at her and said, "Do you have something to tell me?" In the tavern, Robin said he had something to say, and the group followed. Robin looked at Kuina and Uda on the opposite sofa. The two blinked. Leno walked over, and each of them knocked on the head, saying, "You two should go to bed too." Kuina sticks out her tongue. Only then will she show her childish side. Uda covered his head, and went upstairs with Kuina to rest. Leno sat down, poured a glass of orange juice, handed it to Robin, picked up the other glass himself, and took a sip. Sweet and sour orange juice from Belle's Orangery. Robin hesitated again and again before mustering up the courage to say, "Well, I'm from West Blue, not Rog Town." Leno looked as usual, and said with a smile, "A third of the people who passed the assessment have hidden their origins." What? Robin was surprised. The orange juice in her mouth overflowed from the corner of her mouth, and she quickly wiped it with a paper. Leno smiled and said, "Hiding the past is also a way to protect yourself, isn't it? It's nothing. Don't you care? What is there to care about?" Robin shook his head, stared at Leno, and said, "But, I'm different from them." "Oh. What's the difference? You have more eyes than them, or less hands. You are also a normal person. Because of my name, okay?" Robin took a deep breath and said, "My name is Nico Robin." She observed Leno's expression. There was no slight change. Why? Leno put down his cup and said seriously, "Well, Nico Robin, you are welcome to join the Hunters Guild."